Chapter 521. Sun Xueqi stared at Lin Yan, who was smiling at him. Beads of perspiration formed on his forehead. He had never imagined that his master would appear at such a private event. At this moment, everyone looked at Sun Xueqi in confusion. They had no idea what was going on. Lin Yan, what are you? Wei Shufeng stared at Lin Yan intently. Before he could finish, Sun Xueqi shook his head. No. It's not. It's not? As soon as Sun Xueqi's voice fell, the entire place fell into a strange silence. It was so quiet that one could hear the heartbeats of the people around them. What did Sun Xueqi mean by that? Sun Xueqi? Seeing this, the impostor frowned deeply. She looked at Sun Xueqi as a look of surprise surfaced in her eyes. No one knew what was going on, but Qi Shaoyuan knew exactly what was going on. Qi Shaoyuan grinned at Sun Xueqi. Sun Xueqi probably hadn't expected to bump into Yeva here. Mr. Sun Xueqi, what do you mean? Andrea glanced at Sun Xueqi, looking perplexed. Sun Xueqi wasn't in the mood to care about them. His heart was pounding uneasily. Follow me. Lin Yan strode to the hall without turning back. To everyone's disbelief, Sun Xueqi followed Lin Yan to the hall. K1 and Andrea had wanted to follow them, but Qi Shaoyuan had stopped them. Young Master Qi, what are you doing? One of the K1 captains asked. She has something to say. It has nothing to do with you. Why are you eavesdropping? Qi Shaoyuan sneered coldly. One of the K1 captains felt awkward, but he didn't say anything. Captain, this is weird. Miss Lin Yan and Sun Xueqi know each other. Judging by his attitude, something doesn't seem right. Mumu whispered to God Zi. God Zi nodded in response. Mumu was right. He was curious about their relationship as well. Don't talk. Let's follow them secretly. God Zi instructed softly. Okay. Mumu nodded. Mumu and God Zi watched as Qi Shaoyuan argued with everyone else. Then they slipped into the darkness. Lin Yan sat on the couch in the living room as she studied Sun Xueqi with a faint smile on her face. Sun Xueqi, who was standing beside Lin Yan, had lowered his head like a child who had done something wrong and was waiting to be punished. Sun Xueqi, do you have anything to say? Lin Yan stared at Sun Xueqi for some time before she spoke. Hearing this, Sun Xueqi's body trembled slightly. His eyebrows were deeply knitted together. Master. Master? Lin Yan grinned. That girl should be your master, right? No. Master, I have my reasons. Master, please listen to my explanation. It's definitely not what you think, Sun Xueqi said anxiously. All right, I'll listen to your excuses, replied Lin Yan. Master, I'm not quibbling. I'm trying to explain myself. I know that I'm in the wrong, but... Master, that girl has been impersonating you for months. I exposed her the first time. Sun Xueqi sighed heavily as he tried to explain himself. However, at this moment, God Zi and Mumu, who were hiding outside the door, stood rooted to the ground. Their eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. Chapter 522. Lin Yan sat quietly on the couch in the living room as she listened to Sun Xueqi's explanation. After some time, Lin Yan glanced at Sun Xueqi. So what you're saying is that you were the one who exposed the girl when she pretended to be me. In the end, you fell in love with her? This was beyond Lin Yan's expectations. What kind of miracle was this? Master. Say. I really had no choice. Sun Xueqi let out a sigh. I warned her not to continue her deceit, let alone impersonate her master. I didn't expect her to do such a thing again. She called me and told me that she had been exposed and that she was in danger. I didn't think it through and helped her cover up her lie out of selfishness. The silver car. Lin Yan gazed at Sun Xueqi, deep in thought. It was me. After the incident, she drove away in her racing car and called me. I happened to be in China and I wasn't far from where she was, so I rushed over to help her think of a solution. I was also the one who tampered with the racing car, so the brakes and steering didn't work. As for the injury on her leg, it was already there, Sun Xueqi explained. No wonder. Lin Yan nodded. If Sun Xueqi had stepped forward to help, then everything could be explained. It was no wonder that the impostor dared to come back. She was relying on none other than Sun Xueqi's trump card. Master, I'm begging you. Please forgive me this time. Sun Xuan looked anxious when Lin Yan remained silent. If this matter were to be spread out, how would he face his fellow disciples? If he helped a woman impersonate their master, he wouldn't be able to continue living in this world. Do you really like her? Lin Yan was curious. Don't you like aloof women? Sun Xuan was speechless. No. Actually, I like her. She doesn't know that I like her, so she thinks that I need money too. She even promised to give me half of the money. Master, you know that I don't need money. I just sigh. Sun Xuan looked helpless. Lin Yan was completely speechless. Sun Xuan had already put it this way, so what else could she say? This is the only time. If I catch you again. Lin Yan eyed Sun Xuan intently. Master, don't worry. You won't find out. Sun Xuan vowed. What? Lin Yan's face hardened. No. Master, what I mean is that there won't be a next time, so you won't be able to find out, Sun Xuan said anxiously. That's more like it. Lin Yan nodded. Master, aren't you mad at me anymore? Sun Xuan asked boldly when he noticed that Lin Yan's expression had softened. On account of your filial piety, I will let it go this time. However, like I said, if I catch you again, I will make you suffer. Lin Yan grinned. Thank you, Master. Oh yeah, Master. That girl. Sun Xuan stared at Lin Yan intently. On your account, I won't pursue the matter this time. Go out and tell everyone who she really is. Then, take her away. Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she spoke. Chapter 523. Sun Xuan heaved a sigh of relief when he heard Lin Yan. Outside the hall, Godzi and Mumu were dumbfounded. Mumu snapped back to his senses and stared at Godzi in disbelief. Captain, oh my God! Sun Xuan called Miss Lin Yan. Master? He even said that the impostor was impersonating her. Godzi, who was equally shocked, asked, Did we hear wrongly? Mumu shook his head frantically. How is that possible? Captain, you heard wrongly. How could you have heard everything wrongly? Besides, it's impossible for both of you to have heard everything wrongly. Godzi inhaled deeply as he stared at Mumu in shock. In other words, Miss Lin Yan is the real racetrack's Grim Reaper. Yeva. Mumu broke out in a cold sweat. Are we dreaming? Captain, oh my God. This is unbelievable. The racetrack's Grim Reaper is Miss Lin Yan. She has a good relationship with us and even ate with us. She even helped us with the race. I'm going crazy. Mumu scratched his head. No wonder. No wonder. Godzi seemed to have recalled something. Captain, what do you mean by no wonder? Asked Mumu. Think about it carefully. Miss Lin Yan, you're just a rookie racer. It doesn't make sense that you would be able to drive so well. Do you think it makes sense that you would be able to outperform everyone except Air Force? Godzi frowned. No. That doesn't make sense. Mumu replied. I finally understand. No wonder Air Commander of Speed looked strange when he saw Miss Lin Yan and refused to race with her. It's possible that Air Commander had seen Yeva's face before. That's why he recognized Miss Lin Yan. Godzi quipped. Realization dawned on Mumu. Yes. That's right. Now that Captain mentioned it, I remember. Also, Miss Lin Yan led her cousin to victory as a navigator. If it was Yeva, it would be easy. Yeva is a racer, so she should be a top navigator. Godzi added. Oh my God. The He family is really stupid. How could they not know that Lin Yan is Yeva? Captain, why did Yeva hide her identity? I can understand why she returned to the country after retiring. After all, this is her home. Why did she become an actress? Mumu was puzzled. I don't know. Godzi shook his head. Perhaps. Yeva likes to act. As for hiding her identity, she has always been like that. Doesn't she wear a helmet every time she appears? She doesn't accept interviews or appear in public. I'm not sure either. Captain, does this have anything to do with Yeva's retirement? Or is it not appropriate for Yeva to become an insignificant actress? Is that why she chose to hide her identity? Mumu pondered for a moment before asking. How would I know? Godzi rolled his eyes at Mumu. I'm not Yeva. Who am I supposed to ask? Mumu was speechless. It's true, Captain. There are many strange things in this world. I can't believe that such a thing happened to us. Oh my God. We actually let Yeva fight on behalf of ZH1. We even fought with Yeva before. I'm a die-hard fan of hers. Mumu exclaimed excitedly. Chapter 524. Godzi pondered for a moment before replying, Me too. No wonder young Master Qi acted so strangely today. Did he know that Miss Lin Yan is the racetrack's Grim Reaper? Mumu wondered aloud. However, before Godzi could continue, a black shadow shrouded both of them. Godzi raised his head, only to realize that Lin Yan had bent over and was scrutinizing them. Mumu was speechless. Godzi was speechless. Godzi, Mumu, why are you two squatting here? Lin Yan eyed them curiously. It was indeed puzzling for them to be sneaking around in the middle of the night. Miss Lin Yan, I really didn't expect that. You. Godzi suddenly realized that something was amiss. If he said it out loud, wouldn't he be implying that Mumu and he were eavesdropping on them? Huh. Lin Yan frowned. Oh, I really didn't expect that Miss Lin Yan and Mr. Sun Xueran would know each other. Godzi grinned sheepishly. Lin Yan nodded. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time, right? Sun Xueran? Sun Xueran replied hurriedly. Yeah, Miss Lin Yan and I are good friends. Mumu and Godzi exchanged a look. He had to admit that the two of them were really good actors, especially Lin Yan. She was indeed an actress. She was so good at acting. She was Yeva, and Sun Xueran was her apprentice. How could they be friends? When did you guys arrive? Lin Yan glanced at Godzi. We just came to find out what was going on. We didn't even enter the door before you came out. Godzi pretended to be calm. In the past, it had been natural for him to talk to Lin Yan like they were friends. However, things were different now. They hadn't known that Lin Yan was the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Now they felt pressured. Let's go. Sun Xueran will prove that the girl is an imposter, replied Lin Yan. Oh, it's really an imposter. Mumu looked shocked. Sun Xueran nodded. Yeah, it's an imposter. I couldn't recognize her at first. She looks alike and it's late. Mumu tried to hold in his laughter, but he didn't dare laugh. Who was he trying to fool? He clearly liked that swindler and was helping that swindler to cover up his lies. Who would have thought that his teacher would be right here, and he would be exposed on the spot, saying that he couldn't recognize him in the dark? It's understandable. It's normal for one's own master to not recognize him. Mumu didn't think too much about it. Sun Xueran's expression turned awkward when he heard Mumu's words. No, what I mean is, it's quite dark, so it's normal that I didn't recognize you. They look similar. Even their voices are similar. Mumu laughed. Indeed, the woman's voice was very similar to Lin Yan's. However, no one had thought about it that way. Lin Yan and Sun Xueran returned to the manor. At this moment, everyone was still far away, and the opportunity hadn't moved at all. Mumu looked at the K1 team and sneered inwardly, especially at the female captain of the K1 team. If that woman knew that Lin Yan was Yeva, who knew how she would react? Lin Shuya glanced at Lin Yan and Sun Xueran with a frown. Did Lin Yan know Sun Xueran? How was this possible? When Lin Yan had been overseas, she had merely been an insignificant racer. How could she know someone like Sun Xueran? Besides, hadn't Sun Xueran admitted that she was Yeva? What was going on? Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 525. Xueran, what's wrong? The impostor glanced at Sun Xueran, who was standing next to Lin Yan. The arrogance on Sun Xueran's face had vanished completely. He looked like a tiny sapling that had been hit by a storm. His body was trembling and he looked terrified. He didn't even dare to glance at Lin Yan out of the corner of his eye. His master had been missing for a long time. Even his seniors hadn't been able to contact his master. Everyone had said that his master had left the industry and would never return. That was why he had taken the risk to help this woman. Never in his wildest dreams would he have imagined that he would bump into his master after pretending to be her. At this very moment, he simply wanted to die. His master didn't care about her reputation, but if his seniors were to find out about this, he would die a horrible death. He could only blame himself for being blinded by lust. Sun Xueqi. The impostor looked even more displeased when Sun Xueqi remained silent. Shut up! Sun Xueqi bellowed at the thought of this. He glared at the impostor and yelled, "Where did you come from? How dare you impersonate my master? Do you have a death wish?" Everyone was dumbfounded when they heard Sun Xueqi's bellow. The female captain of K1, who had been waiting to watch the drama unfold, froze in place. What? Had Sun Xueqi just said that this Yeva was an impostor? Lin Shuya was stunned as well. Then, her expression changed. "Mr. Sun, are you sure you're not mistaken? During the video call you were..." Sun Xueqi's face darkened when he realized that Lin Shuya had touched his sore spot. He glanced at Lin Yan cautiously. Then, he swallowed his saliva and explained anxiously, "I don't know where this impostor got my phone number. It was dark earlier, so I couldn't see clearly. If I hadn't come here personally, I would have been fooled by her." The woman, who hadn't expected Sun Xueqi to betray her, looked flustered and flustered. "Sun Xueqi, do you know what you're saying?" Sun Xueqi said coldly, "What? Do you think I, the disciple, can't recognize the wrong master?" Although Sun Xueqi's achievements weren't impressive and he was considered the weakest among Yeva's disciples, he was considered a formidable figure in the eyes of the crowd. His words couldn't be false. "Is this woman real or fake?" One of the K1 captains murmured in disbelief. Sun Xueqi said, "It's fake. How can it be real? It had to be fake. How can a disciple recognize the wrong master?" Damn. Lin Yan was right. Everyone instinctively turned to look at Lin Yan, who looked nonchalant. How had Lin Yan found out about it? Why was she so sure that this woman was an impostor? After Sun Xueqi had gone out with Lin Yan, he had suddenly changed his mind. The impostor had been caught off guard, and the strange gazes and whispers had engulfed her. It was as though acid had corroded her beautiful disguise and clothes. The praise and admiration she had built up because of Yeva's name crumbled like a wall, revealing her true self. The woman glanced at Sun Xueqi again. Although she had no idea what Lin Yan had told Sun Xueqi, she knew that there was nothing she could do to change the outcome. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 526. She clearly knew that no matter what the reason was, as long as Sun Xueqi did not help her cover up this lie, she would be finished. She didn't dare drag Sun Xueqi down with her, as that would only offend Sun Xueqi. Hence, she could only take advantage of the chaos to escape. F***CK. Don't let that impostor escape. Someone yelled. The crowd yelled for the security guards to chase after the impostor. Lin Shuya and Hani Xuan apologized frantically, while Dian reprimanded them angrily. Lin Yan, who was bored out of her mind, watched the chaos unfold. She yawned and told Pei Yutong, who was still watching the commotion. Then, she turned around and left leisurely. Hani Xuan was in a terrible predicament. "Mr. Sun, I'm really sorry. We really didn't know that the impostor was an impostor. We couldn't have been in cahoots with her." He had assumed that the impostor had called Sun Xueqi, which meant that there would be no problem. Who would have thought that things would take a turn for the worse? Lin Shuya, who had no time to think, could only swallow her anger and apologize. "Mr. Sun, Miss Diane, and everyone else, we're really sorry. We didn't mean to be disrespectful to Madame Yeva. We were deceived as well. Don't worry, we will catch the impostor and give everyone an explanation. Get lost." Sun Xueqi wasn't in the mood to listen to Lin Shuya's righteous speech. The moment Lin Yan left, he shoved the crowd aside and chased after her frantically. There was no one at the entrance. Sun Xueqi chased after her swiftly. Qi Shaoyuan was excitedly teasing Lin Yan about how the impostor had been exposed. "Ha ha ha. Boss, you have no idea how ugly the impostor's face was. Even if she racked her brains, she wouldn't be able to figure out why Sun Xueqi would suddenly betray her." As Qi Shaoyuan was speaking, he saw a black shadow quickly catch up to them and block their way. A second later, Sun Xueqi fell to his knees and hugged her leg. Then he began to wail. Master, I've exposed that woman. I know I was wrong. I won't do it again. Please don't expel me. What if senior brother finds out? They will kill me." The corners of Qi Xiaoyuan's mouth twitched as he watched the Almighty hugging Lin Yan's thigh and kneeling before her. Even though he knew that Lin Yan was Yeva, his expression was indescribable. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. "Get up!" Sun Xueqi cried even harder. "No. If Master doesn't forgive me, I will kneel for the rest of my life." Even Lin Yan couldn't stand it anymore. "You're a man. How can you kneel here? It's been so many years, but you haven't made any progress?" Sun Xueqi whimpered. "What's wrong with that? I'm willing to kneel for a fairy like you for the rest of my life. I'm Master's man, and I'll be Master's ghost even if I die. Please don't chase me away." Lin Yan was speechless. "Sorry for the wait. I'm still writing. Everyone can sleep early and come back tomorrow morning." Chapter 527. Lin Yan stared at her little disciple, exasperated. Among all her disciples, Sun Xueqi was the weakest and he had a bad habit. He was easily tricked by girls. She had already lost count of the number of times this brat had been cheated of money and sex by women, to the point where he had lost his entire family's fortune. This time, it was even better. She could even do something so lustful and stupid. However, this kid was really good at flattering others. He had a sweet tongue and was good at coaxing people. He was young and Lin Yan had no way of dealing with him. To be honest, Lin Yan had been biased when it came to this disciple of hers. Hence, the other disciples had a bad impression of Sun Xueqi. Just as Sun Xueqi had said, if the others knew what Sun Xueqi had done, they would definitely beat him to death. "Master, I know I was wrong this time. I swear. I will never trust a woman so easily in the future. No, I swear that I will never have a girlfriend again. I want to stay by your side forever." Lin Yan's face turned as black as the bottom of a pot. "Forget it. Don't." Sun Xueqi's face drained of color as though he had suffered a huge blow. "Why, Master, do you really not want me anymore?" Lin Yan rolled her eyes at him and interrupted Sun Xueqi, who was about to continue bawling. "Your master's boyfriend will get jealous." Sun Xueqi's eyes widened in shock. F***CK. Master, you have a boyfriend? Why? Is it so shocking that I have a boyfriend?" Lin Yan was speechless. She had kept a low profile when she had dated Hani Xuan, so not many people had known about it. Besides, she had always been a workaholic, so dating didn't seem like something she should do. The media had even speculated that Yeva had dedicated her life to racing and would never fall in love or get married in this lifetime. Sun Xueqi coughed softly and waved his hands frantically. No. I mean, I can't imagine what kind of man would be worthy of my fairy-like master. That's impossible. Boss, you have a boyfriend." Qi Xiaoyuan, who was a loyal fan of hers, felt as though he had been struck by lightning. His goddess had a boyfriend. He didn't believe it. However, he realized that he was the first fan to know Boss's secret. Wei Shufeng, on the other hand, didn't even know who Boss was. Somehow he felt better. Qi Xiaoyuan echoed, "That's right. I feel like no man is worthy of Boss." Lin Yan furrowed her brows and glanced at Sun Xueqi. "If you don't get up, you will be kicked out of the sect." Sun Xueqi's eyes lit up when he heard this. He quickly got up and said, "Master, you really won't chase me away?" Qi Xiaoyuan guessed that the two of them must have something to talk about since they hadn't seen each other in a long time. Thus, he tactfully excused himself so that the two of them could be alone. "Boss, you guys chat. I'll be leaving first." "Okay, be careful on the road. Go back and rest early." After Qi Xiaoyuan left, Sun Xueqi hugged Lin Yan excitedly. Master, do you know how much they missed you after you left? I'll call them right now. They'll definitely rush over immediately." Chapter 528. Lin Yan's expression darkened. "No, don't tell anyone about me." Sun Xueqi frowned and asked, "Why? Is it because you were banned from the competition? Who doesn't know that it was because someone framed you? You've never lost a competition, so why would you need to take that drug?" Those idiots knew that no one would believe them, so they didn't dare announce it. They just wanted to make use of this incident to force you out of the competition. Lin Yan was naturally aware of the severity of the situation. She had dominated the competition for a long time and was a thorn in many people's sides. How could they let this opportunity slip by? Master, as long as you explain yourself, everyone will believe you. Sun Xueqi said anxiously. Lin Yan sighed softly. Xueqi, you're oversimplifying things. No matter what, they can just say that I followed the rules and regulations and stop all doubts. Sun Xueqi clenched his fists tightly. Even if that's the case. Master, can you bear to leave us behind? Everyone misses you. They want you to come back. Lin Yan grinned at her. Xueqi, I've taught you everything I can. All of you are capable of taking charge. This is my own battle, so I have to walk it alone. Sun Xueqi glanced at Lin Yan in confusion. Master, you mean? Lin Yan raised her head and gazed at the starry sky. Many things happened in the past. At the time, I was disheartened and wanted to quit the industry. But now, I've changed my mind. Lin Yan glanced at her disciple and grinned. Don't worry. One day, I will return to the competition and reunite with all of you. In Yeva's dictionary, there was no such thing as failure. Sun Xueqi's eyes lit up when he heard her. Really? That's great. I will work hard and stop fooling around. I will wait for you at the competition. Lin Yan glanced at her disciple and sighed. I'll thank the heavens if you don't get cheated again. Tears welled up in Sun Xueqi's eyes again. Master, I swear that I will stay away from women from now on. I will remain chaste for you. Lin Yan was speechless. Please, pay attention to your wording. What do you mean by preserving your virginity for me? Your master still wants to live for a few more years. Lin Yan was about to reply when her phone rang. She had received a new message. It was from Pei Yuqing, who rarely contacted her. I left a document in the second drawer of the study. Can you send it to the company? At the same time in the manor. The guests had all left, and Xuan was busy arranging for his men to catch the imposter. Meanwhile, Lin Shuya was busy apologizing to everyone. The people who came today were all famous people in the circle. Because of that imposter, she had lost all her face. Initially, Lin Shuya had wanted to network and get the role of Yeva through this incident. But now, he had offended all the big shots in the racing circle. He had even offended Andrea. Although Wei Shufeng didn't say anything, his expression was ugly as he left. Now that she had calmed down, the more she thought about it, the more suspicious she felt. Sun Xueqi's attitude was very strange. That woman knew that she was an imposter, so how could she have dared to invite Sun Xueqi? Wasn't she courting death? What was even stranger was Lin Yan. How could she be so sure that the woman was an imposter? She had even dared to say that she wasn't an imposter because she didn't want to. There was no failure. There was only death. The Old Man and the Sea. Chapter 529. Late at night, in the bar. Qi Shaoyuan had just left when he received a call from Wei Shufeng. Wei Shufeng had invited him to a bar for a drink. Tonight's incident must have been a huge blow to him. Wei Shufeng downed glass after glass of wine, looking crestfallen. I really thought that I would be able to meet boss this time. I even spent a few days preparing a gift. Qi Shaoyuan patted Wei Shufeng's shoulder. My condolences. Wei Shufeng rolled his eyes at him. Aren't you disappointed at all? Aren't you sad at all? You're a fake fan. You don't deserve to like boss. Qi Shaoyuan's eyes widened in confusion. What? I'm a fake fan? How could a thief claim to be a thief? If you're not a fake fan, then what are you? What gift did you prepare for boss? It's an imitation bag. Wei Shufeng complained. Qi Shaoyuan was speechless. What was wrong with giving an imitation bag? It was a pity that Wei Shufeng didn't know that he had known from the start that it was an imitation bag. Qi Shaoyuan didn't explain. He merely glanced at the drunk Wei Shufeng sympathetically. Actually, you didn't lose out at all. You saw everything that you wanted to see. All the VIPs had actually seen Yeva in real life at the invitation. There was nothing wrong with that. Lin Yan spent a long time trying to get rid of the clingy Sun Xueqi. Then, she rushed back to Cloud Manor. She found the document in the drawer and rushed to JM Corporation. There was no one in the building that night. Cheng Mo, who had been waiting downstairs, led Lin Yan to the top floor. Mr. Pei, why are you working so late? Asked Lin Yan. Cheng Mo nodded. Yeah, the company has been busy lately. This way, Miss Lin. The two of them walked out of the elevator and headed to the office at the end of the corridor. Knock, knock, knock. Cheng Mo knocked on the door. President Pei, Miss Lin is here. Come in. The man's husky voice was heard. Lin Yan followed Cheng Mo. The moment he pushed open the door, he saw a huge floor-to-ceiling window. Outside the window, there were thousands of lights and flashing neon lights. Inside the window, in front of a dim light, the man casually and lazily sat in front of the desk. Behind him hung a suit jacket, his sleeves casually rolled up, and on the desk, there were all kinds of documents. This was Lin Yan's first time in his office. It was also the first time she had seen him at work. No wonder people say that men at work are the sexiest. Lin Yan was really worried about her future. Pei Yuqing had raised the standard of being a boyfriend. How was she going to continue dating after they broke up? Seeing the girl coming over, the man looked up from the pile of documents, put down the pen in his hand with his slender fingers, took off the gold-rimmed glasses on his face, and pinched the space between his eyebrows. Sorry for disturbing you so late at night, Miss Lin. Because it's very, very important, I can only give it to you. Lin Yan snapped back to her senses and hurriedly waved her hands. It's okay, it's okay. It's just a gift. Lin Yan hurriedly walked over with the document. Mr. Pei, take a look. Is this the right document? Pei Yuqing glanced at it casually before putting it aside. Lin Yan, who was a little worried, said, This is such an important document. Mr. Pei, you should check it first. What if I took the wrong document? Chapter 530. Pei Yuqing replied, I'm sure. Lin Yan was certain that Pei Yuqing hadn't even glanced at the document earlier. Just as Pei Qian was about to continue speaking, Cheng Mo glanced at the document and subconsciously said, Isn't this the invalid document? Boss Pei, why do you want this document? Lin Yan was dumbfounded. Ha! Invalid? Even Cheng Mo was confused. However, he realized that he had said too much. How could the boss not know this? Since he did this, there must be a deeper meaning behind it. Thus, he hurriedly lowered his head and remained silent. But Mr. Pei said that it's very important. Lin Yan was puzzled. Pei Yuqing raised his head and glanced at the girl. Miss Lin, you've misunderstood. I'm referring to the person who delivered the document. Lin Yan blinked in confusion. Ha! I just want to see you, Miss Lin. No matter what you bring, it's the same. Pei Yuqing's eyes behind the glasses were as mesmerizing as the night sky behind the floor-to-ceiling windows. He knew that he couldn't beat around the bush with Lin Yan, so he didn't hide his intentions. Indeed, Lin Yan finally understood. She coughed violently and coughed violently. F***CK. Wasn't Pei Yuqing being too straightforward? Even though she was used to it, she still couldn't take it. Couldn't he be more roundabout? Alright, if he was too roundabout, she wouldn't be able to understand. Cheng Mo, who had been trying to figure out his boss's intentions, lowered his head and swallowed his saliva silently. He had racked his brains for so long, but he hadn't expected that his boss would really have such a deep meaning. Instinctively, Lin Yan touched her burning cheeks. She felt that she had been too useless. They had been dating for so long. Why should she be afraid? She had just come to the company to visit him. Wasn't this a normal behavior in a relationship? Besides, she had Xing Chen's request, so she had to make a good impression on him. Hence, Lin Yan inhaled deeply to calm herself down. Then she smiled and said, Ahem. Mr. Pei, if you wanted to see me, you could have just told me. Actually, I miss you. I was just afraid that it would be inconvenient for me to come to your company. Pei Yuqing glanced at the girl with a faint smile. I won't. You're welcome any time. Cheng Mo touched his nose and thought to himself, of course not. Even if it was inconvenient, he completely believed that boss would make things more convenient for JM Corporation. Oh yes, Mr. Pei. When will you be done? Why don't I wait for you? We can go home together later. Pei Yuqing was startled when he heard the words let's go home together. He hadn't expected that Lin Yan would take the initiative today. His eyes were burning as he gazed at the girl. After some time, he replied in a low, hoarse voice. Okay. Cheng Mo was surprised to hear that Pei Yuqing had agreed. They had to rush to the airport later. However, before Cheng Mo could remind him, Pei Yuqing glared at him and made him swallow his words. He didn't dare say another word. The reason why he could stay by his boss's side was because he didn't talk much. Hence, he had to work hard to maintain his advantage. He could see through it, but he wouldn't say anything. I wonder if anyone noticed the little Easter egg that I buried? The abbreviation of JM Group, JM, is actually the abbreviation of cute. Hee. Chapter 531. Lin Yan didn't have to wait long before Pei Yuqing finished his work. He picked up his jacket and left the office with her. They sat side by side in the back seat of the black car and chatted casually. Has everything been going well? It's going pretty well. After Meeting One's match was released, my reputation improved a little, and I received more job offers. After all, I'm now an artist of Summit Entertainment. With Mr. Pei's JM Corporation backing me up, even Triumph Entertainment can't blacklist me. However, I've been on the hot search list recently. Sister Ling said that I would arouse the ire of passers-by if this went on. That's why she didn't allow me to take on any jobs. In a few days, I'll start working. Pei Yuqing propped his hand on his forehead as he listened quietly. From time to time, he chimed in, as though Lin Yan wasn't talking about something unimportant. Instead, he was talking about something so important that he couldn't miss a single word. You seem to be very busy these few days, Pei Yuqing said. Lin Yan's heart tightened as she replied cautiously. Ahem. I've been helping out with my grandfather's team, so I've been a little busy. Do you need any help? Asked Pei Yuqing. Lin Yan blinked in confusion. Ahem. Mr. Pei, don't you hate racing? Although Pei Yuqing had watched a race personally, she knew very well how much he hated racing. Thus, she couldn't help but feel worried. Pei Yuqing didn't deny it. I don't like racing. Indeed. Lin Yan swallowed her saliva nervously. Pei Yuqing added, but you can love me, love my dog. Lin Yan was speechless. Cheng Mo, who was driving, was speechless. When the car was about to reach the villa, Pei Yuqing suddenly asked, do you want to come out for a walk? Lin Yan was startled at first before she nodded. Sure. Cheng Mo parked the car by the road and got out. The two of them got out of the car. The night was quiet, and Lin Yan and Pei Yuqing strolled along the tree-lined path under the moonlight. Lin Yan inhaled a deep breath of fresh air and raised her head to look at the starry sky. Wow, it feels good to take a walk at night. Yeah. Pei Yuqing paced slowly as he reached out to hold the girl's cold hand. Lin Yan was startled as she lowered her head to glance at her hand. Her cheeks flushed slightly. The night was chilly, and Lin Yan shuddered involuntarily when a gust of cold wind blew. Pei Yuqing glanced at the girl before he held her hand and placed it in his pocket. Lin Yan felt her cold hands being enveloped by his warmth. That warm feeling spread from his palm to his heart, and then turned into a violent heartbeat. Lin Yan couldn't help but recall the 100 things you should do with your boyfriend that she had read online. She remembered that one of the rules was, put your pocket in your boyfriend's pocket in winter. At that time, she thought it was stupid. Why would she put it in someone else's pocket? Didn't she have her own pocket? But now, he suddenly had a feeling of enlightenment, a feeling of sudden realization. Pei Yuqing studied the expression on the girl's face and a smile appeared in his eyes. However, that smile soon faded a little. It wasn't a long walk, so the two of them reached the villa in no time. Lin Yan was about to enter the house when Pei Yuqing suddenly stopped in his tracks. Chapter 532. What's wrong? Lin Yan instinctively turned around. I'm on a business trip. I need to catch a plane to Country M now, replied Pei Yuqing. Lin Yan was startled. Ha! You're in a rush to go abroad? If I had known, I would have come back alone. That way, you could have rushed to the airport. What time is the flight? Is it too late? Why didn't you say so earlier? No wonder she saw that Cheng Mo seemed to be a little anxious when she saw him hesitating to speak. Pei Yuqing stroked the girl's soft fingers and sighed. Miss Lin's suggestion is irresistible. Lin Yan was speechless. Huh? Her suggestion? What had she suggested? Hadn't she just said that they would go home together after he was done with his work? So, he didn't hesitate to take a detour to the airport just to come back with her? Lin Yan's cheeks burned hotter at the thought of this. Sorry, tomorrow is the weekend, but I'm afraid I have to miss the appointment, said Pei Yuqing. It was only then that Lin Yan recalled that her other consciousness had taken the liberty to ask Pei Yuqing out on a date this weekend. It's all right. Anyway, there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. We can go any time, replied Lin Yan. The aloofness in Pei Yuqing's eyes dissipated when he heard Lin Yan. Okay. Hurry up and catch the plane then. Don't waste any more time. Lin Yan urged him hurriedly, afraid that she would delay his trip. Okay, go in and rest early. Okay. Lin Yan stood at the door and watched Pei Yuqing leave. In the night, the man's lonesome figure gradually merged with the darkness. Lin Yan stared at Pei Yuqing's back and hesitated. She had never felt this way before. She felt that she should do something. When the man walked to the car and opened the door, Lin Yan couldn't help but say, "Hold on." Then, he jogged all the way to catch up. Pei Yuqing halted when the girl caught up with him. What's wrong? Lin Yan scratched her head and hesitated for some time. Suddenly, she tiptoed and kissed the corner of Pei Yuqing's lips. No, nothing. Be careful. After the girl finished speaking, she quickly slipped away. Pei Yuqing, on the other hand, stood rooted to the ground in shock. The warm touch at the edge of his lips felt like an illusion, but it was very real. The man watched as the girl fled into the house, and the shock in his eyes turned into an overwhelming darkness. A moment later, he sighed helplessly. He had always been calm and composed. Nothing could affect his decisions and pace. However, for the first time in his life, he understood why there were so many incapable rulers in history. On the way to the airport, Pei Yuqing was speechless along the way. When he passed by a huge LED screen in a shopping mall, he accidentally caught sight of an advertisement. This Valentine's Day, spend it romantically with your partner. Valentine's Day, Pei Yuqing muttered. Is tomorrow Valentine's Day? Cheng Mo, who was driving, nodded. I think so. Pei Yuqing's eyes narrowed, and the atmosphere around him turned cold. Cheng Mo immediately knew that he had failed in his duties. He hurriedly said, I'm sorry, Boss Pei. I should have reminded you in advance. The main reason was that he hadn't realized that his boss was in a relationship, so he had forgotten to remind him of this important day. He was doomed. Was boss really going to be an incapable ruler and cancel such an important trip? Update has ended. I'm begging for monthly votes and recommendation votes. There have been many things to do these 2 days, so the update might not be stable. As long as I'm free, I will make up for it immediately. Chapter 533. In the bedroom. Lin Yan scratched her head as she paced back and forth in the room. Had she been possessed just now? She had just been acting. Why had she fallen for it? No. This had nothing to do with her. She must have been possessed by that pervert again. That was why she had done such a thing. That had to be it. Lin Yan hurried online to play a few games to calm herself down. Wang Jingyang was online as well. He had invited her to join his team. Lin Yan accepted his invitation and the two of them started chatting. Wang Jingyang typed, I haven't seen you online in a long time. What have you been up to? Lin Yan typed, it's all about my grandfather's team. Cut the crap and start a game. Which position do you want to play? Wang Jingyang typed, I'll support you. I've been wanting to increase my score lately. Lin Yan replied, sure, start. Wang Jingyang was surprised that Lin Yan had agreed so readily. Why did you agree so easily? The last time I asked you to carry me, didn't you say that 1 round was very expensive and that you had to pay to play with me? Lin Yan typed, oh, thank you for reminding me. Remember to send me money later. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Hence, Lin Yan chose the archer while Wang Jingyang supported her. The two of them started to kill each other in the game. Wang Jingyang's score started to increase rapidly. In one game, Lin Yan targeted the archer and killed him. At first, the archer was cursing and swearing in the fountain. In the end, he lost all his temper. F***CK. Who the hell is the enemy's ADC? He's too awesome. Boss, are you carrying a girl? Boss, why aren't you talking to me? Ha! That's weird. Boss, why aren't you killing me? The archer glanced curiously at Lin Yan, who had walked past him without killing him. The archer kept nagging, but Lin Yan ignored him. She typed impatiently, you're too cheap. The archer was speechless. After a character was killed too many times, the monetary reward would decrease. After being killed so many times, the character would become worthless. This was blatant mockery. Wang Jingyang typed, "Lin Yan, what's wrong with you? Why are you so angry today? Why is he so violent?" Lin Yan replied, "When have I ever stopped being violent?" Wang Jingyang. Okay. However, he still felt that she was acting weird today. After the last match, Wang Jingyang sent a message. Wang Jingyang replied, "Ahem. Lin Yan, are you free tomorrow night?" Lin Yan typed, "What?" Wang Jingyang, "If you don't have anything else to do, then accompany me to score." Lin Yan replied, "I'm busy." Wang Jingyang, "Not free? It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. You're single. How can you be busy?" Lin Yan was startled. "Tomorrow is Valentine's Day?" Wang Jingyang, "Yeah, are you coming?" Lin Yan replied, "No. I'm busy." Wang Jingyang, 50 yuan per round. Lin Yan replied, "No." Wang Jingyang, "No way. Not even paying?" Lin Yan typed, "It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. I have to pay extra." Wang Jingyang. After playing games for half the night and accepting Wang Jingyang's deal, Lin Yan felt much better. She could finally lie down and sleep peacefully. In the middle of the night, Lin Yan was woken up by a throbbing pain in her left leg. Oh no! She had been playing around too much and had raced too many times. She was afraid that her old injury had relapsed. There was no good way to treat this kind of injury. The only thing she could do was to get an anti-inflammatory injection. However, Lin Yan had never gotten an injection before. She had forced herself to endure it. She was most afraid of injections. Every time she saw a needle, she would be terrified. She would rather die from the pain than get an injection. Chapter 534. Lin Yan forced herself to endure until dawn. She had thought that the pain would subside, but it was getting worse. Perhaps because she had been driving too much recently, the pain didn't subside at all. Instead, it intensified. Lin Yan broke out in a cold sweat as the pain in her left leg pierced her heart. However, she decided to let it be. It would be better than getting an injection. Her body had always recovered quickly. At most, she would have to endure for a few more days. Lin Yan picked up her phone and searched for gossip to divert her attention. In the end, her phone was flooded with news about Valentine's Day. A couple in the industry had announced that they were in a relationship. Her screen was filled with dog food. What was there to flaunt? It was too boring. It was all about Valentine's Day. She couldn't even enjoy the gossip. Ever since she had retired from the industry, there had been no gossip in the industry. She was so disappointed. Pei Yutong had gone somewhere and hadn't come today. Pei Nanshu had several jobs to attend as well, so the house was empty. Lin Yan was the only one in the house. Lin Yan rubbed her leg as she scrolled through her phone in boredom. It was too boring. She had to find something to do. Lin Yan opened the app and ordered some takeaway and beer. Then, she strolled to Pei Yutong's favorite game room. Lin Yan scanned the room and realized that it was indeed a high-end room. It had all the latest gaming equipment on the market, as well as a VR helmet. The lights on the wall were dazzling, and if she turned on the music, she would be able to dance in the room. Lin Yan's attention was completely captured by the gaming room. She really couldn't understand what people were thinking. What kind of relationship was this? Was the takeaway not good enough? Was the alcohol not good enough? Or was the game not fun enough? She could stay at home, eat delicious food, play games, and dance. Couldn't she be happier? Besides, there was such a huge house for her to play. It would be perfect if her leg didn't hurt. Other than that, Pei Yuqing's figure kept popping up in Lin Yan's mind. Usually, when Pei Yuqing wasn't home, she would be more relaxed. However, today, for some reason, she kept thinking of him. Perhaps it was because it was Valentine's Day. Although she and Pei Yuqing were acting, he was still her boyfriend in name. Warm thoughts, asterisk. This sentence is indeed very reasonable. While Lin Yan was happily partying, on the other side of the ocean, Pei Yuqing had just arrived. Due to the time difference, it was night time. By now, it was already the next day in China. Pei Yuqing was standing in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, gazing at the night sky outside. Suddenly, his phone rang. It was Pei Yutong. Big brother, did you go on a business trip? Pei Yutong asked excitedly. Pei Yuqing asked, what is it? Pei Yutong hurriedly replied, of course. Don't you know what day it is? Today was Valentine's Day. But you actually went on a business trip and left sister-in-law alone at home. Sister-in-law must be very sad. Pei Yuqing remained silent. This is your first Valentine's Day together. Even if sister-in-law didn't say anything, she must be disappointed. Sister-in-law is so pitiful. She doesn't have many friends around her. On such a busy day, her boyfriend isn't around. How sad and fragile she must be. Meanwhile, Lin Yan, who was singing, drinking and dancing, was speechless. It was too late after yesterday's work, so I'll update 2 chapters for everyone first. Today, 16th. I'll ask for a leave in advance. I'll be busy for the whole day, so I might not have time to write when I get back. If I haven't updated, everyone can come back tomorrow to read moi. Chapter 535. On the other end of the line, Pei Yutong was nagging non-stop. He was worried sick about his brother's relationship. Are you very free? Pei Yuqing asked softly. Pei Yutong shuddered when he heard his cold words. Ahem. I'm just worried about you. Pei Yuqing hung up before Pei Yutong could reply. Pei Yutong, who was in the country, was panicking. Big brother was still as heartless as ever. How could a relationship go smoothly if he was like this? If Big brother's relationship didn't go well, how could he find a good backer like big sister-in-law? If he lost big sister-in-law, wouldn't his good days come to an end and he would return to hell? At that moment, someone knocked on Pei Yuqing's door. Qing Mo entered cautiously. President Pei. Pei Yuqing read the documents as he said, speak. Qing Mo coughed softly. President Pei, I came to confirm the schedule. Is everything going as usual? Pei Yuqing raised his head coldly. What else? No, nothing. Qing Mo replied hastily. I just wanted to confirm it again in case there were any mistakes. He was worried that his boss would suddenly book a flight back to China on Valentine's Day. He would then drop his work to accompany his girlfriend. Now that he heard his boss's reply and saw how serious his boss was at work, Qing Mo felt deeply guilty for his thoughts just now. It seemed like he had gauged the heart of a gentleman with his own mean measure. I'll go prepare now. Qing Mo left the room immediately. After Qing Mo left, Pei Yuqing began to focus on the documents and complicated forms that he would need tomorrow. However, 3 seconds later, the man, who was leaning against the chair, felt a familiar dizziness. A second later, he lost consciousness. When Pei Yuqing woke up again, the scene before him had changed completely. He instinctively moved his fingers and raised his hand. He then saw a pair of slender fair hands that belonged to a girl. Pei Yuqing reacted quickly. This was Lin Yan's body. The man's eyes flickered with helplessness. It seemed like he couldn't fool himself even if he had fooled everyone else. Although he hadn't said anything about what Pei Yutong had said over the phone and he hadn't seemed to mind, he had still been worried. And yet the moment Pei Yuqing took control of Lin Yan's body, deafening music filled his ears. Dazzling lights flashed above his head, and a racing car appeared on the screen. It seemed to be a racing game that Pei Yutong had loved. There were several empty beer bottles, lobsters, scallops, duck necks, peanuts, and all sorts of snacks scattered around Lin Yan's hands. Sister-in-law must be so upset. Even if sister-in-law didn't say anything, she must be disappointed in her heart. Sister-in-law was so pitiful and had no friends. On such a busy day, her boyfriend wasn't around. How sad and fragile would she be? How sad. How fragile. Pei Yuqing recalled Pei Yutong's words and stared at the scene before him. Chapter 536. It was obvious that Lin Yan wasn't sad or weak at all. On the contrary, she seemed rather happy. Game over. Due to the sudden interruption of the game, the word failed appeared on the screen. Lin Yan had been engrossed in the racing game. She was about to pass the level when she suddenly blacked out and lost consciousness. After some time, when she woke up again, she realized that the game had ended. F***CK. There was only 1 round left. Initially, Lin Yan had thought that she had fainted by accident. However, when she woke up, she instinctively wanted to smash the controller. In the end, she realized that, A strange and familiar situation had occurred. Her body was no longer under her control. No matter how hard she tried, it was useless. It was as though her body didn't belong to her. Her consciousness was the same as before. It felt as though she was locked in a small, dark room deep in her mind. She was a third party. No wonder she had lost consciousness. Her body. Another consciousness had taken over her body. However, the difference was that this time, she seemed to be conscious, but because her body had been invaded, she couldn't control her own body. Just as she thought of this, something horrifying happened. Her body suddenly let out a sound of speech. What a heartless woman! F***ck. Her body was talking. However, it wasn't her. This wasn't her tone at all. It's you again. It's you, pervert, isn't it? What the hell are you? Why haven't you left? Lin Yan's consciousness probably existed in the depths of her mind. However, she couldn't control her body. When her consciousness awakened, Pei Yuqing immediately sensed her presence. You're awake? Pei Yuqing asked in surprise. After all, his consciousness was too strong. When he had taken over Lin Yan, her consciousness had been suppressed and she had been in a coma for most of the time. However, that didn't mean that something unexpected had happened. You haven't answered my question. How many times has it been? What do you want? Were you the one who secretly ate all my snacks last time? Were you the one who asked Pei Yuqing out on a date? Lin Yan started to complain. Suddenly, a thought struck her and she exclaimed, Oh, I got it. I finally know. You asked Pei Yuqing out, so you're here because you want to go on a date with him, right? He didn't answer her. Instead, he asked softly, Are you happy that he's not around? Lin Yan was startled for a moment before she realized that he was referring to Pei Yuqing. What does it have to do with you? Can't I be happy? Asked Lin Yan. Pei Yuqing quipped, Today is Valentine's Day, but he can't accompany you. Lin Yan grumbled in her head, What's so good about Valentine's Day? Isn't the beer, the skewers, or the games? Pei Yuqing raised his eyebrows slightly. After some time he asked lazily, Then, is he not good-looking enough? His figure isn't good enough, or isn't he attractive enough for you? Lin Yan was speechless. He seemed to have seen through Lin Yan. Don't lie. I will find out. Lin Yan was speechless. F***ck. She seemed to have forgotten that this fellow seemed to be able to directly absorb her consciousness and thoughts. Chapter 537. The other party could read her thoughts at will. It was as though he could read her mind. However, she didn't even know who he was. Wasn't this too unfair? She had no privacy at all. Or, Pei Yuqing paused for a moment before he added, Let me rephrase my question. Is he not good-looking, does he not have a good figure, or is he not rich enough? Lin Yan was speechless. F***ck. That was a violation of the rules. What was wrong with this guy? Why did he know her so well? Lin Yan hurriedly cleared her mind of distracting thoughts and replied decisively, Mr. Pei's looks, figure, and wealth have nothing to do with me. Do you think I'm the kind of person who looks at a person's face, figure, appearance, and wealth? I'm not that kind of shallow person. Pei Yuqing listened to the girl's righteous words. Really? Lin Yan replied. Of course. Just as Lin Yan replied resolutely, her subconscious surfaced at the same time. I'm too much of a person. Pei Yuqing is such a handsome, and rich boyfriend. Who can resist him? Pei Yuqing replied. Huh, handsome boyfriend? Lin Yan was stunned when she heard her own voice chuckle. F***ck. You can really read my thoughts. It seems like you should thank me, Pei Yuqing quipped. Lin Yan immediately retorted, Thank your head. Do you know how miserable I've been because of you? Do you know what kind of dire straits I'm living right now? I'm hovering on the edge of death every day. At the same time, Lin Yan's subconscious mind said, Don't be too happy drinking and singing every day. Occasionally, I can see my idol. When my boyfriend isn't acting up, he has a good temper. This is a heavenly life. Speaking of which, I think I should thank that guy. Pei Yuqing nodded. You're welcome. Lin Yan was speechless. She had been read again. Lin Yan was flustered and exasperated. I didn't thank you. A boyfriend like Pei Yuqing fell from the sky out of nowhere. I was scared to death. Lin Yan's subconscious mind said, how could such a good thing happen to me? Pei Yuqing was speechless. Lin Yan was on the verge of breaking down. The subconscious would emerge unconsciously, so even Lin Yan would find it hard to control it. This was too sinful. Pei Yuqing leaned against the couch calmly as he listened to the girl in his head. After a moment of silence, he asked slowly, Miss Lin, are you tempted? The way he had said, Miss Lin with his body was strangely familiar to Lin Yan. Lin Yan was startled for a moment before she snapped back to her senses. She couldn't let this fellow lead her by the nose anymore. Otherwise there would be no privacy at all right? A second later, Lin Yan tried to clear her mind and stop her thoughts from running wild. An idea struck her as she swiftly memorized the book. In the 9th year of Yonghe, at the beginning of spring, we will meet at the Orchid Pavilion on the Xueqi mountain to cultivate. All the wise men and women have gathered, the young and old have gathered. Pei Yuqing asked, do you really not like it? Lin Yan replied, there are towering mountains and lofty ridges, lush forests, and tall bamboos. There are also clear streams that reflect on the left and right. The meandering stream is the second best. Although there aren't any musical instruments, a song or song is enough to express one's feelings. Pei Yuqing quipped, of course, liking someone who doesn't want to be responsible counts. Chapter 538. That's enough. Form is emptiness and emptiness is form. Form is emptiness and emptiness is form. Lin Yan was so frightened that she had to recite the Heart Sutra. Pei Yuqing was about to continue when he frowned and glanced at Lin Yan's left leg. He had felt that something was wrong with his left leg. Perhaps the alcohol had numbed some of the pain. Now that he had sobered up, the pain surged again. The pain penetrated deep into his bones like a venomous snake. Even he couldn't stand it, let alone a girl like Lin Yan. Such intense pain couldn't have happened recently. It had been going on for a long time. Pei Yuqing's eyes swept across the beer cans on the floor and the game screen. His face darkened gradually. She had been drinking and playing games to numb the pain and distract herself. Pei Yuqing's tone changed instantly. Why aren't you going to the hospital? Given the intensity of the pain, anyone else would have fainted by now. How could she be drinking and playing games here instead of going to the hospital? Go to the hospital? Why would I go to the hospital? Lin Yan couldn't feel the pain in her body, so she didn't understand what Pei Yuqing meant. Pei Yuqing suppressed his anger and rose to his feet swiftly. He picked up his jacket and bag from the couch. Lin Yan panicked when she saw that he was about to leave. Hey, what are you doing? Where are you going? Pei Yuqing replied, I'm taking you to the hospital for treatment. What? What do you mean? Hospital treatment? Lin Yan suddenly recalled the injury on her leg and panicked. No, I'm not going. I'm not going to the hospital. I don't want an injection. Pei Yuqing's expression was cold. Why? Lin Yan replied fiercely. No reason. I just don't want an injection, can't I? At the same time, Lin Yan's subconscious was saying, no injection, no injection, no injection. Injections are so scary. I'm afraid of injections. Pei Yuqing halted in his tracks, looking startled. You are afraid of injections. Lin Yan was speechless. F***CK. So what if I'm afraid of injections? Can't I? Lin Yan, who had been exposed, exploded in anger. Pei Yuqing's voice softened as he said, I'm the one who needs the injection, not you. What are you afraid of? Lin Yan was dumbfounded. Seems like it. Her body was not under her control, and she could not feel anything. She could not even feel the pain in her left leg. In other words, the guy was the one who was hurting, the guy was the one who was taking the injections, the guy was the one who was taking the medicine, and it had nothing to do with her. Instinctively, Lin Yan muttered to herself, I didn't expect such a good thing to happen. Otherwise, let that fellow take this opportunity to get a few more injections. Help me take the best medicine. Pei Yuqing, who had read their thoughts, was speechless. He hailed a cab and rushed to the hospital. When they arrived, the doctor checked on Lin Yan and scolded her harshly. You don't want your legs anymore? What took you so long? Didn't your attending doctor tell you not to do any strenuous exercise during your recovery? You youngsters really don't take your own bodies seriously. It's my fault. Pei Yuqing didn't retort at all. He had been very good at admitting his mistake. Lin Yan had a strange feeling that he was sincerely apologizing. He wasn't apologizing as Lin Yan. Instead, he was apologizing in his own capacity. Chapter 539. Pei Yuqing followed the doctor's instructions and took the medicine. Then he started the drip. Lin Yan discovered the benefits of being possessed. Although she was still a little afraid of the needle, she didn't feel anything when it hit her body. She didn't need to take the medicine or the drip, and she couldn't feel the pain in her leg at all. However, Lin Yan felt a little miserable when she looked at the drip. It was Valentine's Day, but her old injury had relapsed, and she had been possessed. Now she had to spend the rest of the day in the hospital. For some reason, Pei Yuqing's figure appeared in her mind uncontrollably. A second later, she heard her own body's voice. You're thinking about him. Lin Yan jumped in fright. F***CK. You're doing it again. The late emperor's business collapsed halfway through. Today, the world is divided, and E province is exhausted. This is indeed a critical period. However, the imperial bodyguard does not give up on the inside. The loyal soldiers forget about the outside. Was there something wrong with him? Whatever she was thinking about would be known by this guy. What if she accidentally thought of something inappropriate for children? Wouldn't he be able to see through her too? Pei Yuqing replied, Inappropriate? What do you mean? Lin Yan replied, I didn't mean anything. I was just thinking. Can you stop reading my mind? Pei Yuqing replied, Sorry, I can't control this. Lin Yan replied, There are 9 months and 3 autumns. When the water runs out, the cold pond becomes clear. When the smoke condenses, the mountains become purple. Like a journey, visiting the scenery in Chang'e. Arriving at the prince's Changzhou, obtaining the Deva's old residence. These days. She really couldn't get through this. Lin Yan seized the opportunity while she was still conscious to get down to business. Hey, you haven't answered my question yet. What exactly are you? Are you my second personality? When he remained silent, Lin Yan probed further. Are you a ghost? Are you a vixen? In order to nourish your yin energy? Pei Yuqing listened with interest. Miss Lin, you have an imagination. Why don't you continue guessing? Continue guessing? I really can't guess. Lin Yan fumed. I don't care what you are, but I'm going to die because of you. You're the one who created this problem, so you have to solve it yourself. Please break up with Mr. Pei. These days, every time I wake up, I'm either on his sofa or on his bed. I'm almost scared to death, okay? Who knows what will happen the next time I wake up? Silence reigned for a moment before Pei Yuqing asked slowly, Do you want to break up? Lin Yan replied, Of course I want to break up. Isn't that obvious? Pei Yuqing replied, In that case, you can divide it yourself. Lin Yan asked, Why? You were the one who provoked him. She had wanted to share it herself, but she had almost failed to come back alive. How could she dare to come back again? Pei Yuqing replied, It's me. But the one who wants to break up is you. Lin Yan replied, I. F***CK. He was actually unable to refute. But you're using my body now, so you should at least respect my opinion. What right do you have to use my body to do ridiculous things? What if I fall in love with someone in the future? Lin Yan huffed angrily. Pei Yuqing replied, Someone you fall in love with. For some reason, Lin Yan felt that the sound coming from her body was rather horrifying. Chapter 540. Pei Yuqing replied, The person I like. Lin Yan replied, Yeah. Is there a problem? After all, Pei Yuqing didn't belong to her. All she wanted was for everything to go back to normal. Last night, Pei Yuqing had suddenly wanted to go on a business trip. Before he left, she had suddenly returned and kissed Pei Yuqing, causing her to feel uneasy and restless. She had gone to play games and drink because her emotions were in a mess. At the thought of this, Lin Yan questioned him furiously. Last night, you kissed me shamelessly. Of course I wanted to get away from her. Otherwise, who knows what you'll do to me after taking over my body? Pei Yuqing's eyes flickered with surprise, and his expression was indescribable. After some time he asked, "Do you think that I was the person last night?" Lin Yan replied resolutely, "Of course it was you. If it wasn't you, could it have been me? How could I have done such a thing?" "Ha!" Lin Yan felt a little flustered when she heard her body chuckle. "Why are you laughing? What the hell?" Why did she feel that this fellow's tone sounded a little like Pei Yuqing's? "Miss Lin, I wasn't the person last night. How dare you deny it? Stop lying. It was definitely you." "Do you think I have a reason to lie to you?" Pei Yuqing retorted calmly. For some reason, Lin Yan felt that this fellow wasn't lying. This fellow had done so many shameless things. Why wouldn't he admit it? What was going on? Last night, she had really been in a daze. Her mind had even gone blank for a long time. She had thought that she had been possessed. Could she have been the one who had done that last night? Impossible. That was impossible. Lin Yan forced herself to remain calm. Even if it was me, it was your fault. Haven't you heard of the term embezzlement? With such a man by your side, who would be able to withstand it? I've persisted until now and have only done such a small thing. It's already very rare for someone like me to stay calm. Pei Yuqing raised his eyebrows. Actually, you don't have to stay calm. Lin Yan snapped. Shut up. It's fine if you have ulterior motives. Don't lead me astray. What did Mr. Pei do wrong to deserve to be deceived and tarnished by you? Please be a man. Lin Yan's consciousness was howling when she suddenly felt weak and dizzy. When she was possessed, she couldn't stay awake for too long. Before Lin Yan could react, she was plunged into darkness. He knew that Lin Yan had fallen into a coma when his mind suddenly fell silent. Let's sleep. Pei Yuqing closed his eyes slowly. When Lin Yan woke up again, she was in a taxi. Lin Yan tried to move her body but realized that she couldn't control it. That fellow was still there. Lin Yan had just woken up and was still weak. She struggled to speak. Hey, where are you taking me? Let's go home. Lin Yan rejected him immediately. No, I'm not going back. It's such a big festival, and it's still so early. It's so boring to go home. She was the only one at home, and she didn't want to go back. Where do you want to go? Lin Yan replied. I want to go to the disco. Take me to the disco. Pei Yuqing was speechless. Chapter 541. Pei Yuqing quipped, You won't be able to have fun even if you go. Lin Yan replied, It's fine. You can also help me jump. Pei Yuqing, who was speechless, replied helplessly, Your leg is injured. Lin Yan replied, Yeah, but it's fine. Even if I can't move, I can still enjoy the atmosphere at the bar. The taxi had already stopped outside the mansion. Lin Yan urged him, Anyway, I want to go out and have fun. Take me out. Pei Yuqing was speechless. You need to rest. I don't want to rest. I want to go out and have fun. Hurry up and take me out. Are you going to leave me alone at home during this festive occasion? That's too cruel. Don't think that you can ignore my wishes just because you control my body. If you don't take me out, I will keep arguing. Flower in my heart, I want to take you home to that bar in the middle of the night. No matter if it's real or not, please sway to your heart's content. Forget about him. You are the most charming, you know. Come, draw a dragon with me on the left, and a rainbow on the right. Lin Yan muttered under her breath and even began to sing. Pei Yuqing was speechless. Lin Yan had always been obedient in front of him. This was the first time he had seen this side of her. Pei Yuqing was having a headache when Pei Yutong walked out of the house. F***CK. Big sister-in-law. Sister-in-law, where did you go? I've been looking for you for a long time, but you didn't pick up my calls. I was so worried. Pei Yutong felt relieved when he saw Lin Yan. Why are you here? Pei Yuqing glanced at Pei Yuqing. Isn't it Valentine's Day today? Big brother is away on a business trip, so he's not home. I was afraid that you would be sad and let your imagination run wild at home. That's why I came to accompany you. Pei Yutong carefully observed Lin Yan's expression as he spoke. Big sister-in-law, big brother can be a little unreasonable at times, but don't be sad. He's just too busy with work. Pei Yuqing glanced at Pei Yutong coldly. He was about to be brainwashed by Lin Yan's repetitive song. In the end he strode away. Ha! Big sister-in-law. Sister-in-law? Pei Yutong hurriedly chased after her. Big sister-in-law, you just came back. Where are you going? Lin Yan replied expressionlessly. Disco dancing. Pei Yutong was speechless. Disco dancing. It's Valentine's Day, and sister-in-law is going to a bar to dance alone. Isn't she jumping into a wolf's den? Pei Yutong was scared out of his wits as he hurriedly followed her. Big sister-in-law. Calm down. Sister-in-law. Daddy. Wait a minute. It's so late at night. And it's even Valentine's Day. You're so pretty, it's too dangerous for you to go dancing alone. In the end, Pei Yutong had no choice but to send Lin Yan to the bar with his bodyguard. Pei Yutong refused to give up when he reached the door. Daddy, are you really going? What if my big brother finds out? Lin Yan muttered under her breath. Your big brother didn't forbid me from dancing. Pei Yutong panicked when Lin Yan remained silent. Daddy, why don't I find some other entertainment? Why don't we drive? Lin Yan's heart skipped a beat when she heard him. However, she dismissed the idea in the end. Forget it. I'd better take care of my legs. I won't dance anymore. As Lin Yan was about to enter the bar, Pei Yutong yelled, This is a high-end nightclub. It's expensive. Lin Yan glanced at the signboard outside the bar. It's expensive, but it's free for women today. Why wouldn't I take advantage of this? Pei Yuqing was speechless. Chapter 542. Lin Yan was considered a public figure now. However, this bar was very famous in the industry, so it was very private. She didn't have to worry about being photographed. Besides, everyone was having a good time, so no one would notice her. From Pei Yutong's point of view, Lin Yan seemed especially aloof today. She didn't even respond to him. Indeed, big sister-in-law was heartbroken because his brother had left her alone. That was why she had come to this bar to get drunk. The deafening noise, the bustling crowd, and the dazzling lights dispelled all the thoughts in Lin Yan's head. Lin Yan was elated. Hurry up. Order a Bloody Mary for me. Or even a Manhattan. Pei Yuqing ignored Lin Yan's request and turned to the bartender. A glass of orange juice. The bartender looked awkward. Sorry, miss, we don't serve orange juice. Pei Yuqing reached out and pulled out his wallet from Pei Yutong's pocket. He took out some cash and handed it to the bartender. The bartender said, Wait a minute. I can get someone to buy it for you. Pei Yutong, who had allowed his wallet to be taken away, was speechless. My money. Lin Yan, whose cocktail had turned into orange juice, was speechless. Was there something wrong with him? Why was he asking her to drink orange juice? I've said that your body doesn't belong to you alone, Pei Yuqing replied calmly. Lin Yan was infuriated. How can you be so righteous when you've taken over my body? Pei Yuqing quipped. Stop fooling around. Pei Yutong was lamenting the fact that he didn't have much money left when he heard Lin Yan say something strange. He was dumbfounded. Big sister-in-law, what did you just say? Pei Yuqing replied, I wasn't talking to you. Pei Yutong was speechless, but there was no one else around. It was really strange. There was only sister-in-law here, and big brother was not here. Why did he still feel like he was the third wheel? The bartender served Lin Yan a glass of orange juice. There was a glass of orange juice in front of her in the crowded bar. She didn't drink or dance, as though she was aloof from the world. She simply looked out of place. Pei Yutong couldn't figure it out. Big sister-in-law. Why did you come to the bar? Originally, he was worried that his sister-in-law would get high from playing, but he never expected such a strange situation to occur. At the same time, Lin Yan chimed in. Yeah. Why did you come to this bar? I can't dance, I can't drink, I can't move, I can't even look at the handsome guy. Pei Yuqing narrowed his eyes. You want to see? Lin Yan asked. Why can't I watch it? Pei Yuqing didn't respond. He took out Lin Yan's phone and searched for his number. Lin Yan jumped in fright when she saw Pei Yuqing's number. You. What are you doing? Pei Yuqing replied, Tell your boyfriend what you're doing. Lin Yan replied, F***CK. You're too much. How dare you threaten me? Although she had sounded so righteous, if Pei Yuqing were to find out that she had gone to dance alone in the middle of the night and wanted to see a handsome guy, she would be dead. Pei Yuqing raised his eyebrows. Are you that afraid of him? Lin Yan was about to continue complaining when a young man in a black suit approached her. The man was holding a glass of tequila as he smiled at her. Miss, are you alone? Chapter 543. Pei Yuqing, who had been hit on, was speechless. Lin Yan replied solemnly in her mind. Do you think I'm one person or two people? Plus you, I should be considered two people, right? However, are you even human? Pei Yuqing felt helpless when he heard Lin Yan's nonchalant question. Was it a good thing that he had been hit on without realizing it? Before Pei Yuqing could react, Pei Yutong exploded in anger. Are you blind? Can't you see that I'm here? If you know what's good for you, scram. The man raised an eyebrow and scanned Pei Yutong from head to toe. Forgive me for being blunt, but I don't think this lady is your girlfriend, right? Most people who came to this kind of place were smart, so they could tell that Lin Yan and Pei Yutong weren't a couple. Pei Yutong replied. So what? She isn't my girlfriend, but she is my father. So I don't think you have the right to make me leave. The man replied disdainfully as he glanced at Lin Yan. Miss, sorry to disturb you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Zhao Yankai. Pei Yutong found the name familiar, but he couldn't recall who it was. He muttered suspiciously. Zhao Yankai? I don't care who you are. Let me tell you, this girl is my sister-in-law. Do you know who my big brother is? If he finds out that you dared to provoke my sister-in-law, he can crush 10 of your fathers with his pinky finger. Pei Yutong threatened him fiercely. Zhao Yankai sneered at Pei Yutong. He had treated Pei Yutong like a young lad. In this imperial capital, although my Zhao family can't be considered to be at the top, I, Zhao Yankai, am a character that no one dares to provoke. You actually casually said that your big brother can pinch 10 of me to death with a pinky. Zhao Yankai sneered. Since your big brother is so powerful, why don't you call him out? I want to see how he pinches me to death. You. Pei Yutong was infuriated by the man's arrogance. He almost wanted to blow up his cover. Zhao Yankai paused for a moment before he asked, Kid, do you know who the president of the Pei Corporation is to me? Pei Yutong was taken aback when he heard Big Brother's name. My big. Ahem. Pei Yuqing, who is he to you? Zhao Yankai. He's my grandfather. Pei Yutong nearly choked on his own saliva. What did you say? Even Lin Yan was startled. What the F***CK? What was this person saying? When did Pei Yuqing have such a big grandson? Pei Yuqing pondered this for a moment. I don't think he knows the answer either. He really didn't remember such a person. Pei Yutong burst into laughter. Pei Yuqing is your grandfather? Then I can say that he is my big brother. You must be dreaming. Zhao Yankai snorted coldly as though he was looking at a country bumpkin. Lad, who doesn't know that Pei Yuqing is my cousin? If you don't believe me, you can go out and ask around. Pei Yutong finally recalled why Zhao Yankai's name had sounded so familiar. Zhao Yankai. Could he be the young master of the Weiyuan Corporation? If that was the case, it seemed like that was the case. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 544. The Zhao family and the Pei family were indeed related. Although they were distant relatives, the Zhao family was used to doing things. In order to maintain this relationship, they always let Zhao Yankai call his elder brother Grandpa. They were not afraid of being shameless. His big brother had probably forgotten about Zhao Yankai a long time ago. Pei Yutong, who had just recalled this relationship, cursed in disgust. This lad. How could he be so smug? Do you know who you're flirting with now? That's your grandmother. Lin Yan, who was shocked, exclaimed, Pei Yuqing is his grandfather? According to the family hierarchy, am I not his grandmother? Pei Yuqing agreed with Lin Yan. Yeah, you can say that. Zhao Yankai thought that Pei Yutong had been frightened by him, so he ignored him and walked over to Lin Yan. Miss, I've been paying attention to you ever since. You're really special. You have a charming aura. That's why I couldn't help but want to get to know you and be friends. I hope I didn't disturb you. Zhao Yankai looked like an elegant young master as he tried to strike up a conversation. Lin Yan studied the young man before her. He was dressed fashionably and was wearing luxurious clothes. The watch on his wrist was probably worth the price of a house. He looked a little pompous, but he seemed polite. Lin Yan was about to reply when she realized that her body didn't belong to her. Thus, in the next second, he heard his own body say a word lazily and casually. Get lost. Lin Yan replied, Huh? Why are you scolding me? This young man seems like a nice guy. Pei Yuqing replied, Nice? I didn't know that you had such low standards. Lin Yan replied, Why did you have to attack me for no reason? He even complimented me. Oh wait, he should be complimenting you. He said that you're very charming. Is this young man interested in you? Is he flirting with you? F***CK. Why are you causing trouble for me again? Are you trying to seduce another man? Pei Yuqing was speechless. Zhao Yankai looked startled. He hadn't expected that Lin Yan would treat him this way even though she knew who he was. What shocked him even more was the look in Lin Yan's eyes. He was so frightened that his legs almost turned to jelly. He even felt his hair stand on end. However, Zhao Yankai was only stunned for a short while. He wasn't angry. After he came back to his senses, his eyes were filled with even more interest. Ah, I didn't misjudge you. You're indeed very special. Woman, you have successfully caught my attention. If I'm not mistaken, you should be the popular artist. Lin Yan, right? Miss Lin Yan, we will meet again. I believe that you won't reject me next time. Zhao Yankai looked as though he was determined to get her. Then, he halted and turned around. Oh yeah, Miss Lin Yan. Your expenses today are on me. After showing off, Zhao Yankai elegantly turned around and left. Not long after, the DJ's voice came from the bar. Today, young Master Zhao is paying the bill. Women screamed excitedly, but Lin Yan was filled with disdain. Is there something wrong with this man? I only ordered a glass of orange juice, and Pei Yutong paid for it. Chapter 545. Pei Yuqing glanced at Zhao Yankai to conceal the coldness in his eyes. Have you had enough fun? Lin Yan mumbled unhappily. So soon? It's still early. Pei Yuqing quipped. Or, do you want me to flirt with all the men in this bar tonight? Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan wailed in her head when she heard this threat. Go home. Go home. I want to go home. Boss, please calm down. I haven't broken up with Pei Yuqing yet. Are you trying to kill me by making me a cuckold? Pei Yuqing's expression was indescribable when he heard this. Did she mean that she could break up with him? At that moment, Pei Yutong was staring at Lin Yan in horror. It's over. It's over. Why is sister-in-law talking to herself? Is it because she's too sad and has received too much stimulation? Pei Yuqing stayed for a long time this time. He didn't leave even when he reached home. Lin Yan couldn't help but grumble. Why aren't you leaving? I told you that Mr. Pei is overseas. He can't be spending Valentine's Day with you. Just give up. Suddenly, Lin Yan's phone began to ring. Doggy. Lin Yan, why aren't you online? I've been waiting for you. Didn't you promise to spend Valentine's Day with me? Are you going to stand me up? Spend Valentine's Day together. Pei Yuqing narrowed his eyes as he glanced at the nickname, Doggy. The profile picture looked familiar. It was Lin Yan's friend who used to live next door. At this time, Wang Jingyang sent another message. Doggy. Lin Yan, have you forgotten what you promised me last night? All right. All right. I got it. You want more money for Valentine's Day, right? 200 yuan per game should do, right? Hurry up and start the game. I'll help you. I'm going for a diamond tonight. Pei Yuqing finally understood that this lass had been singing, dancing, and eating skewers. She had also found time to earn money. It seemed like she had been very fulfilling. Lin Yan suddenly recalled Wang Jingyang. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about such an important matter. F***CK. What should I do now? Why did you have to possess me at this time? Aren't you preventing me from earning money? Lin Yan looked as though the sky was about to collapse as she paced around anxiously. Fairy sister, do you know how to play games? Lin Yan asked eagerly. Pei Yuqing said, Sister, Lin Yan replied. Yeah, what's the problem? Are you younger than me? It doesn't matter if it's elder sister or younger sister. You have to help me tonight. Regardless of whether this was a personality or a ghost, she had subconsciously assumed that it was a woman. Otherwise, why would she have flirted with Pei Yuqing? Pei Yuqing was speechless. Dog, hurry up and go online. Wang Jingyang kept urging him on the other end. Lin Yan urged her as well. Sister, hurry up. Let's go online first. If you don't know, I'll teach you. Pei Yuqing walked into the living room and sat down on the couch. There were cigarettes on the coffee table, so he unconsciously took one out. He was about to light it up when he remembered that it was Lin Yan's body. He didn't light it up and tossed it on the coffee table. Pei Yutong had been observing Lin Yan for a long time. She had gone to the nightclub and mumbled to herself in a daze. Now, she had even tried to drown her sorrows with a cigarette. She was obviously heartbroken. Chapter 546. Sister-in-law, are you all right? Pei Yutong inched forward cautiously and asked with concern. Out of the corner of his eye, he noticed that Lin Yan was playing a popular mobile game. Ha! Sister-in-law, you're playing Challenger too? That's great. I've been playing it recently too. Why don't I play with you? Pei Yutong was elated. Playing games was good. At least it was safer to play at home. Pei Yutong stole a glance at Lin Yan's ID. Get rich, Lin. Sister-in-law. Your ID is very auspicious. Wow. Sister-in-law, you're pretty good at this. Daddy, please guide me. Pei Yutong was still excited when he realized that Lin Yan had been pulled into a team. Her ID was riches and honor. Get rich, Lin, riches and honor. Pei Yutong muttered under his breath. F***CK. Is this a couple's ID? How could she meet someone who was trying to poach her while playing a game? Lin Yan was speechless. What couple's ID? They're teammates. Earning money was more important. She had to think of a way to get the big deal tonight. Fairy sister, you're so smart. You must be good at games, right? Help me play a few rounds. Today is Valentine's Day, so I'll pay double. Look, we're sharing the same body now. My money is your money, right? We have to earn this money. Lin Yan tried her best to persuade him. Sister-in-law, add me. Pei Yutong urged. He couldn't let the two of them be alone in the game. He had to shine. Pei Yuqing clicked agree and pulled him into the room. Riches and honor typed. Lin Yan, who is this? This Ka to kindergarten typed. I'm her brother-in-law. Pei Yutong revealed his identity. Riches and honor typed. Lin Yan, that's enough. You mentioned that you have a boyfriend, but now you have a brother-in-law. This Ka to kindergarten typed. My sister-in-law has a boyfriend. Her boyfriend is my big brother. Riches and honor typed. All right. Lin Yan, you have a boyfriend. Why would you play games with a single person like me on Valentine's Day? I'll believe you. Are we going to drive or not? Time is money. When Lin Yan saw that time was money, she urged. Fairy sister, hurry up and start. Stop listening to these two idiots. Let me teach you the basic rules of the game. Pei Yuqing replied. All right. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief when she saw that he was being cooperative. Then she began to train him. There are 3 lanes in this game. The top lane is the defensive lane, the middle lane is the sorcerer, and the bottom lane is the archer and support. Later you will follow Doggy down. You will be the archer, and he will support you. It's best if Pei Yutong can get the entry that he's good at. I think that my body still has memories, so you shouldn't be too bad. Besides, Doggy's skills are pretty good. You guys should be enough to deal with this level. Also you. As she was teaching, Lin Yan suddenly felt her consciousness getting further and further away. She was exhausted and couldn't hold on any longer. Before she could finish her sentence, she fainted. The moment Lin Yan fainted, Pei Yuqing carefully selected Kai Wenji. After entering the game, He controlled Kai Wenji, who was his support, to float into the jungle unsteadily and began to fight in the jungle. Chapter 547. That night, Wang Jingyang and Pei Yutong had a taste of what it meant to be a living hell. Riches and honor. Lin Yan, why did you choose support? Riches and honor. Why are you in the wilderness? Is this some kind of special strategy? Riches and honor. F*CK. 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 I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Give me some milk. F*CK. I'm right next to you. Give me some milk. Don't poke that bird. I'm worth more than it. This car is going to kindergarten, typed. Daddy. Don't go. Don't go. Come back. That's Daddy. You won't be able to beat him. Come back. This car is going to kindergarten, typed. Sister-in-law. Don't go. Don't go. Come back. You're only level 3. You won't be able to beat him. Come back. This car is going to kindergarten, typed. Sister-in-law, don't. Please. Why did you choose Kai Wenji again? Don't choose Kai Wenji. I feel dizzy when I see her in front of me. Riches and honor. Lin Yan. If you want to take revenge on society, don't drag me down with you. This car is going to kindergarten, typed. Daddy, I don't want to play anymore. Get rich, Lin typed. Let's play again. Riches and honor. This car is going to kindergarten. The next morning, when Lin Yan woke up, she realized that she was lying on her bed. She opened her eyes abruptly, and her first reaction was to struggle to sit up. This was great. She was back in her body. She had been scared to death. Her consciousness had left her body for a long time. She was finally back. She seemed to have fainted halfway through. She hoped that guy wouldn't do anything this time. Lin Yan hurriedly got up and stretched her body. Fortunately, she had taken an injection yesterday, so the pain in her left leg had subsided. She surveyed the room to make sure that nothing was amiss. Then, she left the room. She saw Pei Yutong sleeping on the couch when she reached the living room. Pei Yutong jolted awake when he heard her footsteps. Oh, sister-in-law. You're awake. Pei Yutong looked as though he had been ravaged the entire night. He sat up with huge dark circles under his eyes and rubbed his eyes groggily. When he realized that it was Lin Yan, he was so frightened that he almost fell off the couch. He waved his hands frantically and yelled, Sister-in-law, I'm not fighting anymore. I'm not fighting anymore. I beg you to spare me. If you really want to get more points, I'll spend money. I'll spend money to find a few sparring partners for you. Please let me go. Lin Yan stared at him in bewilderment. Third young master, what are you doing? Sparring partner? Find me a sparring partner? I'm in this line of work myself. Why would I need a sparring partner? Pei Yutong was horrified. Big sister-in-law. Are you kidding me? You, a sparring partner? Lin Yan frowned. Yeah, why? Pei Yutong gulped, looking horrified. It can't be. Other people have to pay to play with them, but you play with them. This is killing me. Does the man from last night have a special hobby? Was he a masochist? Otherwise, why would he ask big sister-in-law to be his sparring partner? Initially, Pei Yutong had been filled with hostility and wariness toward the B****starred. However, after what had happened last night, he only felt pity for him. Lin Yan had a bad premonition when she heard Pei Yutong. She whipped out her phone hastily to check the results of last night's match. Chapter 548. 12 consecutive defeats. Lin Yan, who had never been defeated and had always been the MVP, almost fainted when she saw the results of Crimson Rivers. What the hell was going on? Hadn't she made it clear to that guy last night? Why had he chosen Kai Wenji? He had chosen her the entire night. Fine, it was fine that he had chosen Kai Wenji. To a newbie, Kai Wenji was indeed suitable because a healer wouldn't die easily. But how the hell did that guy manage to kill Kai Wenji like this? She sprinkled a handful of rice on her phone. Could she even play better than that guy's Kai Wenji? Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong, who was trembling in fear. No wonder he had been so frightened. After reading the results, Lin Yan clicked on WeChat to explain to Wang Jingyang. Misty City amid the setting sun. Doggy, are you there? Doggy has activated his friend request. You aren't his friend yet. Please send a friend request first. You can only chat after the request is accepted. Lin Yan muttered, Air. Pei Yutong stole a glance at Lin Yan's phone and realized that she had been blacklisted. Qu'est-ce que c'est? He had been worried for so long. Who would have thought that the peach blossom would wither before it could bloom? Suddenly, Lin Yan's WeChat received a video call request. It was from Pei Yuqing. Pei Yutong was so emotional that tears streamed down his cheeks when his brother, who had been absent for the entire day, finally called to show his concern for Lin Yan. Sister-in-law, it's my brother. Hurry up and answer. Lin Yan answered the call hastily and cleared her throat. Hello, Mr. Pei. Is everything going well? In the video call, Pei Yuqing seemed to be in a hotel room. He was dressed casually in his pajamas. Yeah, everything is going well. Sorry, it was Valentine's Day yesterday, so I couldn't spend time with you, Pei Yuqing said apologetically. Lin Yan replied hastily. It's fine. Work is more important. I'm fine. What did you do yesterday? Pei Yuqing asked casually. Lin Yan's eyes darted around as she replied obediently. Oh, yesterday. I spent the entire day at home reading and studying. I even took the time to practice calligraphy. Pei Yutong was speechless. Lin Yan immediately aimed the camera at Pei Yutong. Ask third young master if you don't believe me. Pei Yutong, who had been implicated even though he was doing nothing, looked dumbfounded. He looked at the phone with a bitter expression on his face. Yes. Sister-in-law spent the entire day reading and practicing calligraphy. He had never dared to lie in front of his big brother. Pei Yutong trembled in fear as he stood by the side. He was afraid that his brother would discover something. Pei Yuqing chuckled softly as he studied the girl. Why are you so obedient? Did you do anything else? Pei Yutong felt extremely guilty. He was so frightened that his heart was about to leap out of his throat. Lin Yan coughed softly. Something else. Cough, yes. Other than these there's also. I miss you. Pei Yuqing was speechless. Pei Yutong. Amazing, my father. In the video call, Pei Yuqing raised his eyebrows. If he hadn't been around the entire day yesterday, he would have been fooled by her. But now, he was still willing to be deceived. Chapter 549. At that moment, Pei Yutong finally understood something. He seemed to have overestimated his brother's intelligence. To put it in another way, his brother was a complete idiot when it came to his sister-in-law. To think that she would actually believe a few words of sweet nothings. Indeed, people in love had zero intelligence. After she hung up, she confirmed with Pei Yutong that she hadn't done anything else other than use Kai Wenji to set him and Wang Jingyang up. She finally calmed down. Now that the crisis had been averted, Pei Yutong left in peace. Lin Yan sat on the couch and poured herself a glass of water. Out of habit, she scrolled through her phone to check for updates. Lin Yan stared at her phone. 2 hours ago, the production crew had released an announcement. The gist of the announcement was that the final casting of the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, would be announced soon. Furthermore, the audition would end in a few days. Most of the comments were filled with anticipation, and Lin Shuya's voice was the loudest. Recently, Lin Shuya had put in a lot of effort in order to secure the role of Yeva. She had participated in all sorts of competitions and events. She had even become an honorary member and sponsor of a famous team in the country. Lin Shuya's official Weibo account was filled with posts about various competitions and her seemingly unique understandings of the competition. If she hadn't invited the imposter, Lin Shuya would have gotten the role a long time ago. Even so, she was confident that she would succeed. However, Lin Yan would never give up the role of Yeva to anyone else, especially Lin Shuya. She would never do that. Lin Yan rummaged through her drawers and found a name card. She glanced at the number on it and dialed it. Hello. A slightly magnetic voice came from the phone. Is this Mr. Mark? Lin Yan grinned at him. It's me. I'm Mark. Mr. Mark, I intend to audition for the role of Yeva. Do you have time for a chat? The person on the other end of the line fell silent. Oh, I see. It's a pity that I've changed my career. I've switched to financial services. If it's an audition, I can give you my address and contact details. Oh yeah, How should I address you, miss? Are you interested in finance? Lin Yan was speechless. After she hung up, she jotted down the venue and the person in charge of the audition. Lin Yan contacted Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling had already arrived at a cafe nearby. You want to enter Legend and fight for the role of Yeva? Zhao Hongling was taken aback when she heard Lin Yan's thoughts. Legend wasn't a small production. Meeting One's Match, which Lin Yan had starred in, was considered a blockbuster in the country. However, it paled in comparison to Legend. This was considered an international IP. Zhao Hongling was familiar with Legend, which was one of the most anticipated blockbuster movies. Although the racetrack's Grim Reaper didn't make many appearances, she was the soul of the movie. She was a legendary character who had appeared throughout the entire plot. She had appeared at the very last moment and fought with her disciple in a race that was considered the race of the century. In this movie, no matter how many scenes the male and female leads had, how extravagant the scenes were, or how powerful they were, or how smooth the plot was, the audience was most concerned about the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Chapter 550. Zhao Hongling could imagine how much pressure she would have to endure if she hadn't performed well in the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Sisterling, what do you think? Lin Yan glanced at Zhao Hongling and chuckled softly. It's going to be difficult. Zhao Hongling snapped out of her reverie and glanced at Lin Yan. Zhao Hongling didn't want to dampen Lin Yan's enthusiasm, but that was the truth. Actually, no matter who played the role, it would be a hot potato. No matter how good one's acting was, there would always be flaws in the role. Besides, given Lin Yan's current condition, it wouldn't be realistic for her to compete with Lin Xueqi for the role. There are too many fans for this role. Unless Yeva is the one playing it, don't take on this role. It's too challenging. Zhao Hongling analyzed the situation. Lin Yan nodded thoughtfully. If that was the case, there would be no problem. She was the real Yeva. Besides, Lin Xueqi seems determined to get the role. Zhao Hongling continued to analyze the situation. If the production team is considering the Chinese market, then Lin Xueqi is indeed a good choice. Anyone who wants to compete for the role has to be able to impress them with her acting skills. Lin Yan agreed with Zhao Hongling's analysis. Lin Xueqi was very confident about Yeva's role. She had invited the imposter to promote herself and the role. It was a pity that she had taken a leave of absence. Of course, if you really want to fight for the role, I will support you. However, don't get your hopes up. I have some connections that can arrange for you to audition. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded. I'll give it a try. What if I succeed? 2 days later, someone from the production team contacted Lin Yan and told her to head to the audition venue. Lin Yan woke up early and freshened up. She put on some light makeup and changed into a casual outfit. Then, she asked Pei Yutong to drive her to the audition venue. Sister-in-law, Daddy, did I hear wrongly? You want to compete for the role of Yeva? Pei Yutong glanced at Lin Yan with a puzzled expression. Don't look at me. Focus on the road, Lin Yan instructed him. Pei Yutong hurriedly averted his gaze and focused on driving. Sister-in-law, I've been following Legend of Mir for a long time. I can't wait for the movie to be released. If you can really land the role of Yeva, I promise to book a movie. No, I promise to book 10 movies. However, I don't think you're suitable for the role, replied Pei Yutong. Why not? Lin Yan was puzzled. I don't know either. I just think that unless Yeva plays the role herself, no one else would be suitable. Sister-in-law, think about it. Yeva is famous and influential in the racing industry. As long as it's not her, I think it's a form of blasphemy to Yeva. Pei Yutong replied. Lin Yan was speechless. Sister-in-law, Yeva isn't a fictional character. There is evidence to back her up. If there are any discrepancies in her performance, the fans will be annoyed. Sister-in-law, you have to be mentally prepared. It had to be said that Pei Yutong wasn't stupid. His understanding was on point. Chapter 551. Because of Yeva's existence and her personality, the difficulty of this character was almost hellish. Hence, Lin Yan had no intention of subduing anyone with her acting skills. She just wanted to be herself. Half an hour later, Pei Yutong pulled over to the left side of a building. Sister-in-law, we're here. Lin Yan opened the door and glanced at Pei Yutong. She chuckled softly and said, "Thank you for your hard work. When I get home tonight, I'll play with you." Pei Yutong's face fell when he heard Lin Yan. He didn't even respond to her. Instead, he stepped on the accelerator and the car roared to life. In a few seconds, Pei Yutong's car disappeared from Lin Yan's sight. The smile on Lin Yan's face froze. She was a king-level player, yet she was being despised by a weakling like Pei Yutong. Lin Yan walked into the building. The building had more than 80 floors, and the production crew had rented 6 floors for the audition. The elevator was already crowded. Lin Yan scanned the crowd and saw many familiar faces. Some of them were dressed up and Lin Yan remembered that they were B-list actresses. Some of them were regular guests of popular variety shows. When Lin Yan entered everyone's line of sight, one of the girl's eyes gleamed as she stared at Lin Yan. "Are you Lin Yan?" The girl took 2 steps forward and stared at Lin Yan excitedly. "It's really Lin Yan." "Ah, it's me." For a moment, Lin Yan was still in a daze. Lin Yan had seen the girl on many variety shows. If she remembered correctly, her name was Wang Weinua. "That's great. It's really you. I love your role as Lin Pianruo. I didn't expect to see you here." The girl beamed at Lin Yan. "Thank you." Lin Yan smiled politely at the girl. "Sister Lin Yan, what have you been up to recently? Do you have any plans to film the second installment of Meeting One's Match?" "Say, I haven't read the original novel before. I read it because of your role as Lin Pianruo." Wang Weinua gazed at Lin Yan. Lin Yan felt a little uncomfortable. This was the first time she had received such passion from her fans because of her acting. Before Lin Yan could respond, Wang Weinua added, "Oh yeah. Sister Lin Yan. My name is Wang Weinua. I'm your fan. I know you. I really like your variety show." Lin Yan grinned. Wang Weinua grinned. "Really? That's great. Sister Lin Yan, hurry up and add me on WeChat." Lin Yan couldn't reject the girl's enthusiasm. "Sister Lin Yan, why are you here?" Wang Weinua asked curiously. "I'm here for an audition." Lin Yan answered honestly. "Legend?" Wang Weinua asked curiously. "Yeah." Lin Yan nodded. "We are all here for the audition. Which role is Sister Lin Yan trying out for?" "Yeva." Lin Yan grinned. Everyone in the elevator had a strange expression on their faces when they heard Lin Yan. Some of them even turned to look at Lin Yan strangely. Wang Weinua was startled. "Sister Lin Yan, are you talking about the racetrack's Grim Reaper?" Chapter 552. Immediately, the girls in the elevator laughed out loud. Yeva's role isn't something that anyone can audition for. To get the role, one has to be good-looking, have amazing acting skills, and have a wealth of knowledge and practical skills. Yeah. Although Yeva doesn't have many scenes, she is the soul of legend. If she wasn't Chinese, she wouldn't have come here to audition. "Your name is Lin Yan, right? I don't think you need to waste your time. Lin Shuya has already decided on the role." Most of them had come to audition, but very few of them had gone to audition for Yeva's role. This was because they knew their place. After Lin Shuya had announced that she was determined to get the role, they had given up all hope. Indeed, there have been many actresses who have gone to audition for Yeva's role. Some of them haven't even raced before, yet they dared to try their luck. Before Wang Weinua could say anything, the elevator had already stopped. It had reached the floor where everyone was. Other than Wang Weinua, 3 other girls walked out of the elevator. They were also here for the audition. "Sister Lin Yan, I'm here to audition for the role of Yu Han. I'm a member of the WZ team and I'm Chinese like Yeva." Wang Weinua whispered to Lin Yan. "Ha!" Lin Yan stared at Wang Weinua in confusion. Yu Han was indeed a member of the WZ team, but he wasn't Chinese. Besides, he was a man. It was obvious that Wang Weinua hadn't done his homework. Yu Han is a man. He's not Chinese. Lin Yan glanced at Wang Weinua and reminded her. "How can it be? I've searched online. I remember that it's a girl. Did I search wrongly?" Wang Weinua's expression changed. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan. Who is Lin Yan? Is Lin Yan here? Before Lin Yan could retort, a crisp voice rang out in front of her. Lin Yan raised her hand. I'm here. This is your number. The person in charge handed Lin Yan a number with the number 11 on it. Lin Yan was asked to wait in the makeup room. Recently, there were a lot of actors auditioning for the same role, and they were all arranged to be in the same dressing room. In the dressing room, the contestants could touch up their makeup and wait for the staff to call their number before going to the audition. In Lin Yan's dressing room, there were already many people waiting for the audition. Everyone was wearing a silver uniform and a silver helmet. Lin Yan couldn't react in time. She thought that she had stumbled into a team's reserve room. Lin Yan stood out from the crowd. She wasn't wearing a silver uniform or a silver helmet. Instead, she was dressed casually, which made her look out of place. The girls in their silver uniforms ignored Lin Yan as they sat quietly by the side. 15 minutes later, the person in charge called out several numbers, including Lin Yan's number 11. Lin Yan followed the rest of them out of the makeup room and toward the audition hall. It was very quiet in the audition hall. There was almost no sound. The interviewers were the director and scriptwriter of Legend. Lang Mang's apprentice, Zhou Qiao, was seated in the middle. Zhou Qiao picked up the cup on the table and took a sip. His eyes scanned the crowd. Let's begin in sequence. Everyone has 1 minute to express themselves, Zhou Qiao said softly. Express myself. Chapter 553. All the actresses who had come for the audition had put in a lot of effort for the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. They had watched almost all of Yeva's competitions. However, they hadn't expected Zhou Qiao to allow them to perform freely. All they knew about the racetrack's Grim Reaper was from watching videos. Furthermore, most of Yeva's scenes were related to racing. Not many people knew about her lifestyle. In that case, how could they perform freely? Contestant 3. Zhou Qiao lowered his head and picked up the documents. Mo Sun, right? You go first. As soon as Zhou Qiao's voice fell, one of the girls in the silver racing uniform seemed a little nervous. She took a deep breath, calmed herself down, nodded, and walked forward. Everyone fell silent as they turned to look at the girl. After about 10 seconds, the girl finally made her move. Everyone watched as she squatted down, as though she was trying to imitate Yeva's performance. Stop. Suddenly, Zhou Qiao told the girl, all right, go back and wait for further notice. The girl's expression changed when she heard Zhou Qiao. She hadn't even started her performance yet. Zhou Qiao had made himself clear, so the girl didn't say anything else. She merely nodded and left the audition hall. Everyone knew that Zhou Qiao had made it clear. There was no need for the girl to continue her performance, as Zhou Qiao and the director hadn't been interested in her at all. Contestant 9, Li Xuanxin, get ready to start your performance. Almost none of the actresses who had come for the audition were able to finish their performance within a minute. Some of them lasted at least 7 or 8 seconds, while others only lasted about 10 seconds. The rest of the actresses frowned when they heard the harsh conditions. They couldn't help but feel puzzled. Wasn't this audition just for show? This couldn't be described as a hellish performance. Even though everyone had put in a lot of effort to get the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper, they only knew about Yeva during competitions. Most of them had only read the news and watched the videos. Hence, they could only imitate Yeva's mannerisms during competitions. However, once the people who had just left started performing in such a manner, they would be stopped after a maximum of 10 seconds. I think the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper has already been decided. It's Lin Shuya. That's why the production crew won't consider anyone else. The reason why the auditions haven't ended yet is because they haven't announced the end of the auditions yet. One of the actresses whispered. Everyone agreed with what the actress said. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense for those people to be stopped before they even finished a minute. Number 6, Wei Yutong, that's all. Go back and wait for further notice. Zhou Qiao took a sip of water and turned to the actress on the stage. Wei Yutong, the actress who was supposed to be number 6, stopped what she was doing and glared at Zhou Qiao coldly. I'm sorry, but I have to say something. Since you've already decided on the role of Yeva, there's no need for us to audition anymore. I think it's disrespectful to us. Chapter 554. Hearing Wei Yutong's words, many actresses agreed with her in their hearts. However, they were not as daring as Wei Yutong to say such things out loud. Hearing this, the director and producer of Legend exchanged a look. Ever since they came to Hua Land for the audition, no one had ever said something like that. Miss Wei Yutong, right? Zhou Qiao's eyes trailed to Wei Yutong as he grinned. Do you think that the audition for the racetrack's Grim Reaper is just a simple simulation? Isn't that the case? Wei Yutong was indignant. Interesting. Zhou Qiao sneered coldly. If that's your understanding, then I'm sorry. You're not the right person for this role. Based on your logic, wouldn't it be better to find a female racer to play this role? Why would actors like you have to simulate a race? Or do you think that you're better than a professional racer? Zhou Qiao's words rendered Wei Yutong speechless. Indeed, there was nothing wrong with what Zhou Qiao said. They could easily find a professional female racer to simulate the movements of a racing car. All right, go back and wait for my notice. Zhou Qiao waved his hand impatiently. The rest of the actresses felt increasingly uneasy as they watched Wei Yutong leave. They had only watched Yeva's competition videos. If they were free to act, they would only be able to imitate the videos. How would they know Yeva's personality? Contestant 11, Lin Yan, get ready to perform. Zhou Qiao spoke after about half an hour. Lin Yan strode to the center of the hall. Zhou Qiao and the others were curious when they saw Lin Yan, who was dressed casually. Lin Yan stood out from the rest of the female actors who were dressed in silver. Zhou Qiao was Lang Mang's disciple, so according to seniority, he was Lin Yan's disciple. However, Zhou Qiao had never had the chance to meet Yeva. Hence, he had no idea that the person standing before him was Yeva. Why are you looking at me? Let's begin, Zhou Qiao replied. Lin Yan didn't speak. Instead, she fell silent. Many years ago, Lang Mang had competed in the first level of the international competition. After the competition, she had almost scolded him until he cried. Just as everyone was getting impatient, Lin Yan opened her eyes again. In that instant, that pair of eyes and the girl in front of him seemed to have changed into a different person. The casual and gentle look in her eyes also vanished in a second. It was as if she was standing at the top of the world, the defending champion. The change in the atmosphere made Zhou Qiao and the director show a rare look of interest. What are you afraid of? Lin Yan glanced at the empty corner with a cold expression on her face. Tell me how I taught you. You disappoint me. Lin Yan shook her head gently. The disappointment on her face was obvious. Cowering before the battle. Lin Yan replied coldly, your teammates gave their all to send you to the first level of the international competition, yet you can't even compare to a deserter. Perhaps your teammates should be ashamed of you. Lin Yan fell silent as though she was listening to something. At this moment, the expressions of the remaining actresses on the stage changed. Chapter 555. If Lin Yan hadn't been standing in front of them, they would have thought that the girl who was performing was a racer who was scolding her apprentice. What was most unbelievable was that this didn't seem like an act at all. Or rather, it had happened before. You're right. Suddenly, Lin Yan, who had been silent for a while, added, every opponent in the first level of the international competition is too strong. You've only lost one race, so that's not scary. What's scary is the passion and fighting spirit coursing through your veins. If you have a desire, I hope that you will fight for your dreams in this competition. From today onwards, I hope that you will transform into a python in the first level of the international competition. Lin Yan fell silent once more. After a few seconds, she glanced at the corner and grinned. She raised her arms and said, welcome to this desolate and hellish arena. In my name, I will sweep away all the jackals and tigers. Perhaps one day, you and I will enter an even crueler competition. We will reach the pinnacle and take revenge on our failures. Seconds after Lin Yan's performance ended, the entire place was silent. Everyone's eyes were on Lin Yan, as though they were waiting for her to continue. Is that all? The director of Legend couldn't help but ask after a long time. Yeah, I said that it's over. Lin Yan grinned. Oh. Sorry, I thought that you were referring to a line in the performance. The director snapped out of his daze. Miss Lin Yan's performance is really unique. You have performed for the longest time. The producer glanced at his watch. More than 5 minutes. Mr. Zhou Qiao, as Yeva's apprentice, why don't you comment on it? The director glanced at Zhou Qiao. Miss Lin Yan, did you perform? Yeva and Lang Mang? Zhou Qiao asked in surprise. Lin Yan nodded and replied, yeah. Miss Lin, how did you come up with this idea? Asked Zhou Qiao curiously. Based on what I know, when Mr. Lang Mang first competed in the first level of the international competition, he lost once. Actually, I was just imagining how nervous and uneasy he would be when he competed in the first level of the international competition. As Mr. Lang Mang's master, the racetrack's Grim Reaper, I imagined how she would treat her disciple back then. That was why I made this performance. Yeah. My master did do something like that, but I don't think Madame Yeva is that fierce. Zhou Qiao chuckled softly. Lin Yan was speechless. However, Miss Lin's performance was really good. She even managed to deceive my senses and make me think that it was real. That was amazing, Zhou Qiao praised her. Thank you for the compliment, replied Lin Yan. There was no need to be polite. Just give her the role of Yeva. Miss Lin Yan, even if you don't get the role of Yeva in the end, we can still give you the role of a female racer, Zhou Qiao said after some thought. Actually, Yeva's role had been confirmed a few days ago. It would be Lin Shuya, an A-list actress in the country. There wouldn't be any changes. Chapter 556. The sixth actress, Wei Yutong, had been right. No matter how one performed, they wouldn't be able to get the role of Yeva. After all, the role had already been confirmed a few days ago. The actress who would portray the racetrack's Grim Reaper was none other than Lin Shuya. However, Zhou Qiao and the others had been impressed by Lin Yan's performance. Hence, they had decided to let Lin Yan join the cast and play the role of a female racer. The other actresses cast envious glances at Lin Yan. Even if she hadn't gotten the role of Yeva, being able to join the cast and play a role in Legend was already a great achievement. For others, getting a role in Legend would bring their career to a whole new level. Miss Lin Yan, what do you think? The director of Legend grinned at Lin Yan. Lin Yan shook her head without hesitation and replied softly, I'm sorry. I'm here today because of the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. I'm not interested in the other characters in this movie. Everyone's expression changed when they heard Lin Yan, especially the actresses who had yet to audition. They stared at Lin Yan in disbelief. Had they heard her correctly? How could Lin Yan reject Zhou Qiao? She had even rejected the director and the producer of Legend. She had mentioned that her motive for coming here was obvious. She had no other intentions other than to play the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Was Lin Yan joking? She would only play the role of Yeva and not consider any other roles? Who had given her the courage to utter such arrogant words? I will only play the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Zhou Qiao frowned when he heard Lin Yan. He had been in the country for so many days, but this was the first time he had encountered such a situation. He had never met an actress like Lin Yan. Miss Lin Yan, are you sure you're not joking? The producer asked. Lin Yan nodded and chuckled softly. Yeah, I'm not joking. I only want the role of Yeva. I won't play any other role in the movie. I'm not interested in playing any other role. Zhou Qiao scrutinized Lin Yan curiously. To be honest, she had never seen an actress with such a personality in the past few days. Besides, where did she get her confidence from? Why did she think that she was suitable and could play Yeva well? Although the racetrack's Grim Reaper didn't have many scenes in the movie, she was the most difficult character to portray. Furthermore, no matter how good the actors were, racing enthusiasts wouldn't necessarily be impressed by them. Miss Lin Yan, are you confident that you can portray the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper? Zhou Qiao asked Lin Yan. Lin Yan nodded slightly, her eyes brimming with confidence. Indeed, I am the only actress in the country who can portray the role of Yeva well. No other actress can compare to me. The director and producer exchanged a chuckle when they heard Lin Yan. Lin Yan had acted well earlier on, but to them, this was an exaggeration. It sounded arrogant and conceited. Chapter 557. Even the actresses who had yet to audition were frowning and glaring at Lin Yan in an unfriendly manner. Ha! Did I hear wrongly? Other than her, no one else can play the role of Yeva. Who does she think she is? Is she the real Yeva? I don't like her words. What does she mean by saying that she is the only one who can play the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper? Her performance as Lin Pianruo in Meeting One's Match wasn't bad, but there are too many actresses who are better than her. How can she compare to Lin Shuya and the other actors in the country? I think she is just trying to show off. One of the actresses sneered coldly. To be honest, I didn't think much of her performance just now. It was just a change of style. If we were in her shoes, we wouldn't be any worse than her. Mr. Zhou Qiao is already very lucky to have offered her a role. Who would have thought that she would be so unappreciative? How dare she say that she can only play the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper? What a joke! Miss Lin Yan, why don't you go back and wait for further notice? The producer of Legend waved his hand impatiently. He had never met an actress like her. He had already told her that she wasn't suitable for the role of Yeva. How could she not be satisfied with another role? All right, I'll wait for your good news. Lin Yan glanced at Zhou Qiao and the director with a smile before she turned around and left. At Cloud Manor, Pei Yutong was playing games on the couch. Lin Yan approached him and realized that his results were terrible. Do you need a king to play with me? I promise to help you win. Lin Yan sat down beside Pei Yutong with a smile. Pei Yutong snapped back to his senses. His eyes darted to Lin Yan as he shook his head frantically. No. Sister-in-law, I think. It's just a game. As long as you are happy, it doesn't matter if you win or not. Pei Yutong swore that he would never play games with Lin Yan again. He wouldn't be willing to play with a king even if she offered him money. Pei Yutong would never forget Lin Yan's performance as Kai Wenji. Most people would play 5v5 games, but it had been 4v6 that night. Lin Yan must have been a spy. Before Lin Yan could reply, Pei Yutong changed the topic. He glanced at Lin Yan and asked hastily, Sister-in-law, is the audition over? Why are you back so soon? Yeah, it's over. Lin Yan nodded. What do you think? There's no hope, right? Pei Yutong was curious. Lin Yan was speechless. This brat really knew how to chat. I don't think so. Lin Yan pondered for a moment before she replied honestly. Isn't that right, sister-in-law? I told you that you wouldn't be able to get the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. It would be a waste of time. If you have the time, why don't you? Before Pei Yutong could finish, Lin Yan grinned and said, If I have the time, why don't I play games with you? Pei Yutong shuddered at her words, looking horrified. No. I mean, sister-in-law, if you have the time, why don't you drink tea, watch dramas, or play games? Isn't that a waste of time? Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yutong. She couldn't be bothered to talk to him anymore. She rose and returned to her room. Chapter 558. Actually, when Lin Yan had gone to the audition today, she had never thought that she would land the role of Yeva. Everyone knew that the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper had been given to Lin Shuya. Not too long ago, Legend had also released an official statement. If there hadn't been any special circumstances, the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper would never have landed in the hands of anyone else. It would have been Lin Shuya. First of all, Lin Shuya's acting skills weren't bad. Besides, she had spent a huge sum of money to sponsor a top team in the country for her role as Yeva. She had even become an honorary member of the team. She had also learned a lot about racing. Besides, Lin Shuya was very famous in the country. She was beautiful and kind. Recently, the media had been hyping up Lin Shuya's good deeds. For example, she had been the founder of Angel's Shelter. Lin Shuya was the most suitable candidate to play the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. There was no one else who could do it. Based on her analysis, it had never occurred to Lin Yan that she would get the role of Lin Shuya soon. Even so, Lin Yan didn't feel the slightest bit of emotion. She was determined to get the role, and no one could compete with her. Half an hour later, Lin Yan logged into her social media account, which she hadn't used in a long time. Her username was Yeva. Her profile picture was that of a female character known as the God of War. She had short hair and was dressed in black. The corners of her mouth were curled up, and there was an eye patch over her left eye. A huge sword hung at her waist. Thousands of messages bombarded her the moment she logged in. Butcher typed, "Master. Second brother deliberately avoided my car during the first level. Master, you have to control him. Master. Quickly expel this evil creature from the sect. Devilish child Butcher. Master, that bastard second brother gave me the middle finger at the start of the first competition. Ah. Bear child Butcher. Master? Where are you? Why did you turn off your phone? In your name typed, Master, Master. Second brother deliberately avoided Butchers and my car during the race. In your name, Python, Master. Second bro got first place again. He stepped on Butchers and my corpses to get there. That vile spawn. He even said that he would treat us to a meal, but in the end, he ran away halfway through. In your name, Python. Master, what's going on with you? Butcher said he couldn't get through to you for a long time, Master. Lin Yen scanned through the thousands of messages. Most of them had been sent by her disciples, while some were from the WZ team. There were even some who wanted to collaborate with her. Xueqi. You there? Lin Yen was startled when she saw this name. She had already deleted his name. Why had he added it again? Moreover, he had already deleted it more than 10 times, right? Without hesitation, Lin Yen deleted Xueqi's account from her contact list. After confirming that she had deleted it completely, she heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Yen clicked on the "In My Name" chat. Ha ha ha. After a few seconds. In my name, Python. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. Master, you have come back to life. Yeva. Get lost. In my name, Python. Master, is that you? What happened? Your phone has been switched off, and you haven't replied to my messages. We are so worried. Chapter 559. Yeva replied, Bull**T. You guys are so happy without me around. In my name's Mang replied, Master, stop fooling around. Where are you? Tell me and I'll come and find you. Yeva replied, I'm busy overseas. I can't go back anytime soon. In my name's Mang replied, Oh, when are you coming back, Master? Yeva replied, Let's talk about this later. I have something to ask you. Is there a movie called Legend that will be filming soon? Will you be in charge of the casting? In your name's Mang replied, Yeah, it seems like it. It's just a movie. I don't have time for this. I'll leave it to my disciple. Yeva replied, All right. Tell the production crew that I want to personally choose Yeva's role. Without my permission, no one can portray Yeva. In your name, Python replied, Oh, Master, no problem. I will inform Zhou Qiao. Actually, the producers of this movie had the same intention. They wanted you to personally choose the actress to play Yeva's role, but they couldn't contact you. Even we couldn't contact you, Master. Yeva replied, Just get the person in charge of Legend to contact me through this account. Send all the audition videos to me through this account. In your name's Mang typed, Master, I got it. However, Master, can you video call me? What if someone hacked your account? Before Lin Yen could reply, Lang Mang sent her a video call. Lin Yen picked up the call immediately. Master, is it really you? Lang Mang stared at Lin Yen in astonishment. It's me. Lin Yen replied helplessly. Lin Yen was watching Lang Mang, who was wearing his helmet and uniform. He was sitting in his car in a carefree manner. She asked, Are you in the race? Lang Mang, who was fully armed, nodded. It's a friendly race. They are too slow, so I'm waiting for them at the finish line. Say, I have to stop talking. They are catching up. Master, let's talk after this race. I have many things to ask you. Master, please don't go missing again. Lang Mang hung up hurriedly. If he hadn't been afraid that Lin Yen would scold him, he would have given up on the competition. Lin Yen was speechless. This fellow had actually replied to her during the competition. He had even video called her? Yeva replied, I have something to do. Don't forget what I told you. Contact the producers as soon as possible. I have to choose Yeva's role personally. Lin Yen sent a message to Lang Mang before she read the thousands of messages on her account. She had wanted to reply to them one by one, but she felt that it would be too much work. Thus, she logged out of her account. As soon as he logged out of the account, Zhao Hongling called him. Lin Yan, have you finished your audition? The audition ended a long time ago. Lin Yan grinned. What was the result? Zhao Hongling had no high hopes for Lin Yan at the audition. It's all right. Lin Yan didn't hide anything and told Zhao Hongling everything that had happened at the audition. What? Zhao Hongling sounded agitated when she heard Lin Yan. You rejected Legend's offer because you didn't want to act as a racer? Zhao Hongling had never imagined that Lin Yan would be able to join the production team. She had never imagined that Lin Yan would actually reject a role. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.